Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai, haere mai. G'day, hello and welcome to everyone tuning in from around the world. Tonight, huge game here at the Dunedin Ice Stadium in the beautiful city known in Māori as Aotearoa Aotearoa, or in English, Dunedin, New Zealand. New Zealand versus Australia, a rivalry spanning generations, from the green grass pitches of rugby and cricket to the white ice of the ice rink. It's Saturday night and we have an absolute huge one here tonight. Joining me to my right, Ian Wanamaker, former New Zealand men's ice hockey player, and to my left, veteran broadcaster Matt Chavez, who will be on the play-by-play tonight. I'm Matt Whiffen, and the excitement is building in this rink. Ian.
Oh, absolutely. This is fantastic for Aotearoa, New Zealand, Ōtepoti, as you mentioned. This is a phenomenal opportunity for both of these teams. As you see, the crowd is starting to stream in. The anticipation is building. This could dictate the medal table. This game tonight has all the cards to shape up for a fantastic contest. Kiwis have only won once in the last, out of the 16 total times they have faced the women from Australia, and that was back in 2013 up in Auckland.
Yep, the last time New Zealand hosted the tournament, they got a big victory. Matt, the full house is going to be loud tonight. Can that enthusiasm from the fans get the New Zealanders over the line?
Well, it's going to have to, because on paper, this one looks like a strong Australian team. Now, they're a little bit ahead in the standings. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but they do seem to have the stronger team so far in the tournament. But New Zealand has had all the right moves and has they've when it mattered, the chips fall towards New Zealand, and they've had the chances and they buried them. Last Thursday, the last game, perfect example of it. They were down, they were behind, they could have gotten down on themselves, but instead they came through, and with 8 minutes to go, they started just pounding away and getting a win. If it happens again tonight, that might be what New Zealand needs. But on paper, this one looks tough.
Yeah, like you said, Matty, New Zealand have put themselves in good position. This is a make or break game for them. Before we go any further about talking about the analysis for this game, let's talk about the results from earlier today. What have we got there, Ian?
Yeah, earlier in the first matchup at 1 o'clock, we had Turkey playing off against Hong Kong, China. Turkey got up to a 2-0 lead very early in the first period, and then Hong Kong, China really woke up in the second and then dictated the pace of play, scored 4 straight, basically unanswered goals, and to win that match 4-2.
The irony, of course, was that the Thursday game, it's exactly what happened to them. They did it to Turkey.
That's right, yeah.
And in the game just before now, Matt, quite an important one for the Ukrainians. They got up there.
Ukraine and Belgium went after it. What was it, 6-1 was the final? 6-1 for Ukraine. It doesn't really tell the story, even though that scoreline, 6-1, was a pretty solid defeat for Belgium. The Ukrainians bossed that game. The last time I looked at the shots, it was 49-7. So it was a solid win for Ukraine, and Ukraine is going to be looking for the possibility of a podium finish.
Righto, we're going to check out some highlights from Thursday night's game, New Zealand versus Hong Kong, China. Chomping at the bit to get out there and make their town proud. And we are underway here in Dunedin. Through the middle for Hong Kong, China. Taking a shot, scoring! 18 seconds into the first period, Hong Kong, China with the early lead.
Let's take a look at this one. Just a lot of speed, but there's really 4 players around in there for the goal. I think there were just too many players and everybody just waiting for something to happen there.
83.33% penalty kill for New Zealand. Shot into the pads, still loose in front. Can they clear it? No, it's Hong Kong, China finding the loose puck and burying it to put them up 2-0.
See it after the shot here, it goes across the crease, and as it makes its way across there for the Redirection in the goal. 2-0 the score. Hong Kong, China up.
Quite scrambly there. There's a lot of players, a lot of bodies. That puck just...
Great pass up ice to Kachablong.
breakaway.
To Hansen. Shoots, scores, puts it over the shoulder of Chow and net, and New Zealand are finally on the board here in period one.
Coming down to a bit of a tidier breakout all the way from their own zone up into the central neutral ice area. Great read. Kachablong passes it up to a streaking Hansen all alone. 1-on-0 with the goalkeeper. Great read, goes up over the glove into the top shelf.
Richmond from the point, trying to force it through. Played out by the defensive. Follow-up shot and into the pads and holding strong. Coming through the middle of the ice. Here comes, she did it once. She's going to try and do it again. She gets taken down, and it's going to be a penalty against New Zealand. Shooting and deflected and almost through into the net, but it just sat on that line. And Hong Kong trying to get the clear.
Shot comes in from the outside. It just trickles there. It almost comes down to the fact that there's still some water on the ice from the Zamboni. That's how close this was.
High for Blom with speed through the neutral zone. Around, shooting, scores! High glove side, Kachablong ties it up for New Zealand.
What a wrist shot, absolute ripper, kind of making something out of nothing, taking the team on her back and cutting through the neutral zone and gaining that outside lane. 3 defenders caught watching the puck.
But New Zealand tying it up through the speed of Kachablong. Good block. Here comes Hope Gregory. She's got the defender in front of her, takes a shot, she scores! Hope Gregory puts New Zealand up just as quick as that. It's 3-2 to the New Zealanders.
Guys, this is tired legs. Hong Kong, China has given everything in this game, but those types of crosses, those types of breaks are starting to happen. And now, Hong Kong, China is having a hard time.
New Zealand can feel it now. Good opportunity for Smith. Diving to make the save. Stepping around, taking a shot, and Lachlan High with a save. Shots piling up for New Zealand now, 39-28. To the middle and they score! Kachablong in front, tucks it home, and New Zealand extend their lead to 2.
Well, quite timely for Team New Zealand. That's something that they will want to pull away from Hong Kong, China at this point in the game.
Judy Hill
just elects to hold on to it.
Will hold on to it in the corner, and New Zealand has survived here. A spirited fight from Hong Kong, China really made things difficult for the New Zealand. All right, very exciting game on the Thursday night. New Zealand lucky to get away with a good win in the end. But we are moments away from puck drop here for the 2025 IIHF Division 2 Group B Women's Ice Hockey World Championships. New Zealand versus Australia, the game that the folks in Dunedin have been anticipating and waiting for. Let's get to those starting lineups here.
Fantastic. All right, starting lineup for Team New Zealand. Starting off with the home team, we have in net, starting goalkeeper is Grace Harrison, ranked number 25. She was the only winning goalkeeper in New Zealand as 15 years old when they first beat Australia on home soil back in 2013. As well as Judy Hill was also a 15-year-old at that time, but wearing number 24 in the starting lineup for New Zealand. Kelly Nelson, number 22. Jasmine Horner-Pascoe on the right side. Rebecca Lilly on D, Hannah Cross for Team New Zealand. And for the Australians, Sasha King starting in net. Up front we've got Lindsay Kalinick, Emily Hope, Davis Tope, and Sarah Salmons, Marty Pullen, Gabrielle Arps, rounding out the starting lineup for Team Australia.
Thank you for that, Ian. I'm going to pass it over now to Matt Chavez, who's going to be bringing you the play-by-play for the rest of the game. Let's hope it's as exciting as the previous games.
So we'll take a look at both teams here as their strengths and weaknesses. They are very equal as far as their IIHF ranking. They're very equal on the points table, 9 and 8 points so far. And What's really going to be interesting on this one, guys, is not only are these statistics interesting, but I really want to see how the goalkeeping matchup works out. Harrison versus King, that is going to be a key to this game.
Yeah, Sasha King hasn't lost a game all tournament. Exceptional save percentage, 98.11%, and 0.33 goals against. Just unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, so 981 save, which is 52 out of 53. But the other interesting thing that I'll bring up before we get started here, and they're going to line up, just 53 shots against for Australia in 3 games, which means that they have a very solid defense.
Yeah, only conceding that 1 goal, so goal scoring might be at a premium in this game. We're expecting a very close match between Australia and Team New Zealand.
I can feel the excitement coming from the crowd. It's much louder than previous nights with that sellout crowd.
Yeah, this is different. You might even see it on the camera here. You've got standing room only here at the Dunedin Ice Stadium. This is going to be special. The real key to this right up front in this first period for me is going to be, does New Zealand get kind of an even footing right away, or does Australia jump and try to go offensive very quickly? That's going to be what we watch. Here we go. We're starting with first period action here in Dunedin. It is Australia versus New Zealand. Here we go. Nelson's going to take the face-off against Kalinick. And Kalinick jumps in and gets that face-off, but that goes back to the Australians and then turned back over to New Zealand as the puck moves around neutral first. That is off to Hannah Cross. She goes behind the cage, goes around and leaves that in the corner. Kalinick with it, looking to pass inward, goes all the way out to the point. Big slap shot. Blocker save and pressed for the stop. Harrison with the save.
Yeah, that first shot there coming from the long range just comes off the inside of the pads and sits there momentarily in front of Harrison, but she was able to get the glove down to get a cover.
Tournament leading scorer, at least as of yesterday, belonged to take that face off. She loses it. That shot goes in on Harrison, knocked to the backboards, and that's Richmond trying to dig it out. Goes to Australia, but that is Blong taking it up the ice. 2-on-4. She's going to go wide, dump it into the corner, and everybody chases Malari there first at the half board. She leaves it to the point, back to Malari. Malari's got it 1-on-2. Australia trying to dig it out. They can't do it. And that turns back in for New Zealand as that goes behind King. The chase goes into the near corner, and that's Hansen trying to dig it out. She passes to Malari. That goes out to the point. Hollier throwing it in, and that doesn't quite get on net. Turned around, and it's Aparicio. And Australia with a 2-on-3 shot, and that's kicked aside. Del Basso, one of the leaders of the Australian team, getting a good chance there. That pass a little bit too much. And it goes to Cochran and up to Mahoney. Mahoney doesn't win the race. That gets turned around. Comes back to Hollier. Hollier trying to dig it out. Cochran at the point. She can't hold it in, but she's got the puck for a moment at least. And Shields gets it knocked away. Puck goes out, and that was actually quite near us.
Yeah, that puck, you gotta be watching anywhere you are in a rink, ice rink especially. They have moved the netting up for the cameras for your viewing pleasure at home. And as you mentioned, Olivia Del Basso, 31-year-old Australian, 4th all-time for women Australian points, sitting on 21 goals, 21 assists, 42 points in 28 games played.
Crompton beats Shields on the face-off, but the puck goes to New Zealand, and that taken down there is
that's going to be here, man.
That is.
Gregory, taken down.
Yeah, Gregory hitting the deck, and 2 minutes goes up on the board. Power play coming up for New Zealand.
Interesting stat for the tournament so far. New Zealand unable to score on the power play at all this tournament. So
perhaps they can alleviate that now. They're getting opportunities to start this game, not even 3 minutes in. They're going on the power play here.
Nelson takes that one. They jump on it. It goes into the corner. Corner Pasco gets it out to the point. Out to Jones. Long leaves it back for Jones again. Long, tournament leading scorer. She has 4. And that one's sent in. Jamie Jones trying to just get a kind of a rotational shot, just something from the angle and get this face off again.
That's Sasha King, goalkeeper for Australia. You could see that puck all the way through, so nothing coming of that, no rebound. Face off to her left.
And no changes. Nelson at the face-off dot again. Wins this one, goes by Malari. Malari trying to chase this one down, but can't keep it in. And it's going to be Davis Tope killing some time for the Australians as New Zealand sets up behind the cage, looking to get the offense going.
Australia does have a 100% kill rate in this tournament, so their penalty kill has been excellent thus far.
Long takes it in with speed, going against the 2-on-2 box, and goes across the ice to Malari. Malari at the half board, digging it out up against Tehema, and Long with it now, out up high. Jones sends it low, pass shot, and that doesn't quite get through, and they turn it around. Australia with Pullen dumping and chasing, and it's going to be Pullen with it still as they go into that corner. Three for New Zealand in that back, trying to get this puck out. 46 seconds to go on the power play for New Zealand.
Fantastic job from Pullen there, just taking off some seconds.
And they're going to go with a couple of changes with Horner Pascoe jumping up and getting the puck. It was never going to be icing, but she gets control of it. Now she's hassled behind the net. Malthaner getting that away, but it stays in the zone. Lost an edge, did Richmond, and that still stays in the zone. New Zealand holding it. Heel with a shot. That goes a little wide. Didn't get all of that. Stays in, and they continue with possession. Abby Heel throwing it forward. Up to Judy Heel. Off to Shields. Shields with a shot. That goes off the face. Another shot. Bounced around. And a very desperate Kirsty Venus kicking it away for Australia. They have the puck, but that one hit King in the face mask. I don't think she was expecting it at all, but luckily for the Australians, they don't give up anything on this power play. We're back to 5-on-5. Long coming back in quickly. 1-on-5, takes a shot. Glove save, but off to the side. And Australia lucky to get away with that one as they reset.
We know Katja Blanc can shoot the puck well. That was a good shot up into that top far corner.
A big mistake letting her shoot in that situation. Once again, a 1-on-5. Really should never get a good quality shot off. Long does, and we'll see it here again.
Yeah, so it looked like Team New Zealand all went for a change except for Katja, and she gets a great wrist shot off here, and Sasha King, good positioning, can see that all the way, getting a glove on it, sending it into the corner.
And the icing was the call. Blanc to take this face off. The Australians taking a little bit of extra time. It's Killinick to take that for them. And here we go with a restart. New Zealand wins that, throws it to the back board. Passed across the ice, but that's going to go to the far point and out, and it will be Cross sending it cross ice to Lily.
Lily in her 50th NZ New Zealand Ice Ferns game tonight.
Australians back out to neutral. They hold on to it. Run a play for the New Zealanders to start with. But a couple of cheeky shots for the Australians and some good skating here by Del Basso. She gets in there quickly, and they have to fight that one off. A good clearance here by New Zealand, and they get back out to neutral, go for a couple of changes, but that does go in quickly for Shields. Shields with a backhand, 1-on-5 again, but pestering with that, almost a forecheck, almost giving it away with just to take a shot, let it go, and then get the change, and it's been effective so far. And that's Mills chasing that down. No icing called here, doesn't get to the goal line. Aparicio sending it forward. She's going to hold on to it, actually. Speed up the through the zone. She holds on to it, goes centered, tries to take a shot, doesn't get anything on it as the puck bounced in front of her. And that gets knocked away. Aparicio loses it off her stick, and New Zealand moving it out above halfway, sending it dump and chase. Once again going for a change, leaving one high, and that's Hope Gregory. And the rest of her team shows up, but it was Del Basso getting that puck away for the Australians. Jamie Jones in the corner, fighting away, trying to take it from Brunt here. And that puck stays at the half boards. It goes the distance. Not sure as to whether or not that was touched. No icing is the call here. And it will be Venus sending that back. And the Australians looking to break out. They lose that puck. Goes out halfway. Crompton had that offsides. Everybody had to check up for the Australians, and New Zealand gets the puck, moving it through neutral and dumped in. Hefford with the effort here to get it behind. The Australians reset. Australia moves that puck out. It is Mahoney up the right-hand boards, but that's stolen away. It was Judy Heel with some good play there, but it goes out to the center. Crompton loses it. Brought in by Horner Pasco. High shot. Looks like it was deflected. Goes out of play.
Take a breath, Matt. That was phenomenal. Long sequence of play without any whistle. Just wanted to have a mention that both of these teams are the most penalized in the IIHF tournament thus far, so we could potentially see more special teams coming into play. As a bit of a break-in here from Team Australia. Kind of thwarted by Grace Harrison with a poke check, but a good aggressive play there by Team Australia.
Nelson dances around the puck. She just can't get a stick on it. Australia eventually does, the captain knocking it out. And it goes out of the zone up to, I think that's Dash. Sarah Dash has it, and she's up the right side. Dumps it, sends it around. It'll be Nelson getting there first and continuing that around the boards. Heel trying to get it out. The Australians there first. It is Tehema trying to keep that in. Now they go for a change. Now that's sent in, out, and it was cleared. The puck going all the way back to the defensive zone. Killenik looking for it, asking for it. She's all alone on the right side here, but the defense there in time. That was Caitlin Hollier getting there in time to thwart that offensive chance. And the puck stays in the corner for a moment as it comes out just a little bit. Australia with it. That's Davis Tope. Can't really find anybody yet, but looking for a passing chance. That's in front of the crease. Harrison sees it, and she was on top of it for a while there. They finally get a whistle, and it looks like it was Killenik that was right on top of that puck.
So far, New Zealand's doing a really good job of collapsing in and around that square, that centre area of the ice in front of Grace Harrison. They're also doing a really good job of coming back hard, back checking on the Australians as they enter the zone. So it's good signs from the New Zealand defense so far.
Yeah, defensive structure is going to be key because the Australian will be coming with a lot of firepower.
Breakaway here. Malari can't get there in time as they, as was that Arps that had a hold of that puck. All three lines contributing for Australia early here. And Malari with it for a moment, but gets it taken away and back to neutral. That's Killenik sending it around, and they'll go for the change. Harrison with the puck, and the captain moving it forward. Jones sending it up, but turned over. Julian with it for a moment, gets it back, takes it in the zone. Julian skating across the blue line, going right to left, looking for a change there, and some personnel difficulties for New Zealand matching up on that zone. That puck goes deep in the right side here. Lilly trying to take it away. Passed in and deflected. And that is New Zealand. It's going to be Mills knocking that forward.
Abby Hill making a good play there, getting in the lane of the pass. She'll know a lot of these Australian players. She was over in Melbourne, playing for the Melbourne Ice with a lot of these players from Australia.
Del Basso holding up on the slap shot up the right side. Didn't have an angle, looking for a friend. Gets it out to the point, sends it back. And that goes into the corner. One of the Australian players goes down. That's Godfrey trying to get a hold of that puck, but loses it. And off we go. Gabby Mills up the far side here, up their right side. And it is Roberts taking it in with some speed. Australia consistently going in on that right side, trying to skate on the opposite side of the benches. They seem to see something there. Venus with a shot, not on target. And New Zealand gets there first, takes it out of the zone, passing it forward. But another pass that didn't quite hit the tape. Was turned over, though. 2-on-4. Hefford with it. Shot, and that goes slightly high and over King's net. Collision behind the net, and Australia with it. It's Crompton with the pass behind. to Venus, and they break out into neutral again. Richmond sending it forward, and everybody over the bench there for New Zealand. And it's Cochran throwing it the length of the ice, goes behind the net. Heel there first. In the corner, they dig out. Puck goes central, and the New Zealand team trying to break out from there. They get it across. No, they don't. That is offsides, and we'll get a break in play.
A lot of good sequence of play overall, Matt, and you mentioned that they were cutting to the outside. One of the ways that Team New Zealand was doing that, met very quickly at the blue line by Team Australia, defending it really strong, whereas Team Australia is able to get through the Kiwi defense by going really wide, but they have been kept to the outside, so both teams looking to get on the offensive.
Nelson wins that. They throw it in for a moment, but that gets turned over. Simmons with it. Salmons throws it deep. Heel gets there first. Killinick trying to get there, but doesn't do it, and it's Jones getting out of the zone. Pass across the ice. Horner Pascoe with it. Horner Pascoe with the move. Horner Pascoe looking to get rid of it. Can't do it, and that puck turn around. Arps with it up the right side. Takes a long shot in, just a little bit of a floater, and everybody getting knocked over. Incidental contact, but Arps with the 8-iron and Harrison handling it well.
Yeah,
cut right underneath it.
Yeah, interesting play, just throwing it on net, we flip it, and then chasing hard. They're going in there, but the two Australians colliding more so than the New Zealanders getting involved. Australia's starting to enjoy a little bit of more ice time down the right end of the ice for them. New Zealand struggling just to get possession and hold it.
Julian wins it. Del Basso trying to take the one-timer, couldn't do it. Del Basso again, one of the offensive leaders for Australia, didn't quite get enough on that shot, but cutting across, looking for a better angle. The Australians looking for quality shots here. That's trying to tip it away from Hansen, but the puck gets knocked deep by Malari and goes around to Blong, who's back out on the ice. And they turn this around with the potential for numbers here. Is at least a 2-on-2. And as they come in quickly, right in front, a shot taken.
Set up.
And it was Aparicio with a chance but couldn't connect. And they dig that out on this near half board. New Zealand in control of the puck. Blong with it. Blong up the right side. Blong holds. Blong holds. Looking, surveying. Goes back, circles back, looks for a friend. Passed out to the point. Long shot in, doesn't get through. Australia with it. Del Basso's got it. She's going to hold it and skate it.
Probably looking for a change. Both those lines have been out there for a while.
And that's exactly what happens. It goes back out to Hannah Shields. And New Zealand with a bit of trouble trying to get that out. Gregory getting it around. And Shields taken down. Back to Gregory. As they dig away with it. Australia controls it, but they have to go and reset. Crompton had it. Cochran. Godfrey. Godfrey sends it in. Funny bounce, and that's going to be controlled by New Zealand. Gregory loses that one. It turns back around, and it's Abby Heel with it. She tries to get it out of the zone. It does not clear, but that gets pushed back out. And it's Rapchuk with it, with Crompton, her line mate. And Cochran taking that puck in the back corner with some forechecking by Shields. 3 players up, and it's going to pay off. Abby Heel with a shot. That did not miss by much. King looked at it and let it go. And that was a floater that was not far over the crossbar. That goes back to Australia. They're skating through 1-on-3. Dash trying to take a shot. She gets a good shot off. Easily seen by Harrison, and a glove save and hold.
Yeah, there was a nice play down low by Hannah Shields. She played her 50th game earlier in the tournament, just getting down there and forechecking on the defensive player. That caused a turnover to give Abby Heel that shot.
6 minutes to go. Face off in the defensive end for New Zealand. Australia pressing here, and it is Cross with the puck, and they try to move that around the boards, but Australia takes over. And New Zealand gets it back there with Cross. Lilly going back and collecting it in the corner, looking for Horner Pasco. You can't get it out. Lily still got it there for a moment. Now into the corner. Tehamo all the way around the cage, looking for help. She's not finding any. Skates all the way to the half boards, but double teamed. Gets kicked to the point and turned over. Nelson with it. Nelson with the outlet pass. That got deflected. Goes halfway up the ice. Australia chooses to dump and change, and Harrison stops the puck.
Australia doing a lot of dump and change, or at least getting the puck in deep to give their forwards and their D a chance to change with ease.
Yeah, Arp's doing it again. She caught it just on the wrong side of the blue line for her, so she throws it back in, and Australia resets. New Zealand collects, and we do it again. Hollier getting double teamed. So the high press is a big thing for Australia today. They are really, the forecheck is just, they're not going to let anything out on this. And they continue on the offensive, just a very aggressive approach. That goes out to the point. Out to Arps. Arps takes a shot, and Harrison sees it the whole way. Killinick there for any kind of rebound, but Harrison not letting go.
Yeah, you're right, Matt. There is a lot of offensive time that Australia has, but they are largely being kept to the outside of that house that, Matt, you mentioned as well earlier in this broadcast. So that's something that the Kiwi team is holding, keeping things on the outside.
Julian wins that faceoff, but turns it over immediately. It'll be Hansen coming out of the zone, but she has to give it up 1-on-2. And it's Roberts passing it across and getting it back. She's going to look forward, eyes up, passes up to Del Basso. Del Basso dumps and chases, and it's going to be Jamie Jones that gets there first. New Zealand with it for a moment. Good move there. Trying to get out of the zone. That is Blong. Blong skates around still has it. Gains the zone. Triple team, quadruple team. Puck goes into that corner there. And Australia just choosing to go after the puck. And Julian can't handle that. And it's Blong again, trying to hold on to it. Back and forth we go. Hansen digging away. Mahoney dumping it in. And it's going to be Jones again behind the cage looking for an outlet. That's knocked away. Stays in play. And Shields trying to get the outlet once again. Walks it forward a little bit, then gets the pass. That's going to work for them. 3-on-3. New Zealand trying to break out. They're going to go forward with this. Shields into the corner. A couple of changes on the defensive side for New Zealand. Australia getting the puck, kicking it out, and getting it out of the zone. They're going to go up 2-on-3 as they go up the left side this time. Crompton looking for somebody to help. Can't do it, has to circle back, goes to the half boards. Outside the dot, gives it away. That's going to go into the corner. Pass low, nobody on, whoever that is back there. That was somebody lost Sharna Godfrey behind the cage there. And it's New Zealand getting away with one with a good save by Harrison.
Yeah, Sharna Godfrey, one of the last players you want to leave alone in front of the net. She just didn't get a lot on that shot as she came out in front.
So good chance there for Australia.
That was a great stick there by Rebecca Lilly, actually, to break up that shot before it was allowed to get on.
Arps with it, sends it forward, gets behind Harrison, but a good
rebound.
Deflection if you're a New Zealand fan, as that goes just outside the crease. And, well, that stays in at the half boards for the moment. Australia continues with this pressure, and Caitlin Hollier's got that puck, looking for some way to get out of the zone, sends it backwards instead, plays it safe and goes out the right side. That's passed forward but intercepted, and Australia continues with possession here. It's Gabby Mills sending it back around. Australia getting fresh legs out there. Gregory with it, trying to pass it forward, gives it up, and it's Salmons with it. Salmons looking around. Salmons gets it to Arps, who cross ice pass into the dot, shot, and Harrison flashing the leather to make sure that they know this one was saved.
Team New Zealand playing with a bit of fire, not able to get the puck out of their own defensive zone. Australia just absolutely peppering them with lots of shots, and this is the end of that sequence where they've already had a few shots on net, and this one was the wrist shot from that point area. Grace Harrison able to see that, making a good glove save, holding it, getting a face-off, hoping the Kiwis can resettle and get out of the zone.
Killinick losing that face-off to the New Zealand side. That was Nelson winning that. Horner Pasco with it. And they dig it away. Jones, heel. And it's Roberts sending it forward for Australia. Abby Hill trying to get it all the way around, not going to make it to the blue line. Big collision there. And that puck does go out. Horner Pasco has it, 1-on-2, looking for help. Takes a shot instead. That's kicked away into the corner. And they fight for it. Nelson looking for it, but it is Killenick who has the puck, gets it taken away from her. Horner Pasco just took it right off her stick. Goes out to Abby Hill. Abby looking, walking in, looking for the pass that goes in front into the slot, but nobody can do anything with it. And coming down the side is Salmons. Salmons goes right after it, but a good defensive
Quick up
chance
here.
for Jones. It's turned around. Horner Pasco trying to get it in. She's onside, but turns it over to Arpicio. And it's Cochran taking it forward.
Minute left in the first period.
And that goes to Del Basso, then turned over, goes to the point, stays in with Rapchuk. Rapchuk sending it around to Del Basso into the corner.
Two big players coming at it there. Good collision.
Yeah, referees allowing them to play.
And that goes forward, and a bit chance for a break here. Up the left-hand side, Hansen gets that puck taken away from her, and that puck goes out the right. Oh, and that's a big hit. Long just absolutely walled Julian. And they're going to call that offside. That is
might have come out of the zone.
It must have, because we couldn't see it here. But, yeah, I think it was Julian that just got trucked there. Do we have that one? Are we going to see that again? Any chance? Maybe. It was close. There it is. Let's see this one. It's going to go up that.
This is Lily Hansen.
Back check here. Right stick check there.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have time. It's going to be Nelson to take this one at the faceoff dot.
The physicality ramping up here.
Definitely. Killenick getting that one, but it's going to be Heel with it. Sending it forward to Horner Pasco. Heel's going to chase. It gets in the zone, just barely. Heel with it, but loses it. Killenick's got it in the back behind the net. Australia looking to organize. There's a pass forward, and that gets just by Hollier. And Salmon's not able to really do anything with it, and that is the buzzer. Guys, I'm out of breath, and that was 20 minutes, and nobody scored.
There was a lot of speed in that period. Both teams showing that they're up for it.
Yeah, both teams battling really well, but it's also very tight checking. Things are very, very close. So there's not a lot of time and space allowing some of the skilled players to demonstrate what they've got and go to work. And I think both teams are very well aware that there is some offensive power on either side, and they are restricting that space. As you hear the hometown crowd in Aotearoa, in Otipoti, Dunedin, saluting the efforts of Team New Zealand as they go off the ice first, with Australia waiting patiently. Speaking of patience, both teams have demonstrated some really good patience with the puck. They are doing a lot of outside of the crease area, moving the puck around. That's phenomenal. But something's going to have to break here, some form of the play, maybe one of these big hits, because it's going to open this right up to get that first goal in this contest.
Yeah, my feelings from that period are that New Zealand, they've done their research. They're doing that box formation when they're on defense, keeping Australia out to the points. I wonder if in the next period we'll see Australia look to use those points just a bit more, try and get crowds in front, because if the New Zealanders are there and the Australian players are in the middle, shots from the point into the blue paint could cause some chaos.
Yeah, this is an example for me anyways of where you see the shot count. And it was 16-7, I think, unofficially, right? According to the monitor. Anyway, it doesn't matter. In this case, I thought the quality of shots was roughly even, especially good quality shots. So in the case of this being an evenly matched first period, I wouldn't be able to pick a winner from this. This was just heavyweight blows right from the beginning, and nobody making any big mistakes. The mental focus on the ice, you can see, is definitely there.
Oh, it's ramped up.
Yeah.
If you're focusing on Team New Zealand just for a moment, they have certainly made each game improvements and learnings that they've transferred over to the next game. And with that defensive effort, all of their members are really digging into that, and it's allowing them, where possible, to break out as a unit and get out of their zone. But Australia is hemming New Zealand right in that zone, and they are gaining entry. Not easier, but at least they're definitely gaining zone entry, which is allowing them a lot more offensive zone time, which is indicated on that shot difference.
Yeah. And when they're not when they're not getting in easy, they're dumping and chasing, and then forechecking hard.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. The puck is getting moved deep for Australia. That has been their core offensive identity. Now, when they do that, this might be the first time that they've really run into a brick wall in that, which is really what has evened it out. So they may be getting a lot of shots. They may not be giving up a lot of shots, but that doesn't mean that it's not even. Australia really needs to stop with the once they get into a corner, they're allowing themselves to be outgunned by the outnumbered.
Yeah.
If they do that and they can pull it back from the blue line, they'll get some quality chances, and that's probably what they're going to be talking about for 2.
Right, let's have a look at some of the highlights.
That was the first penalty,
power play early on. Didn't work out for them, though, unfortunately.
I think it was quite the nerves of the game were present and evident in that sequence of play. The power play kind of forcing it a little bit with taking shots from far outside. There was a bit of traffic there, as you see a great shot here. 2 bodies in front battling, and then that puck does come through.
Yeah, the rebound was the opportunity.
But good box out there from Venus number 14, Team Australia.
This is Katja Blong. Now, I've noticed that they are really paying special attention to Katja Blong tonight.
Yeah, double teaming her at times.
She's got an opportunity to draw those plays and make a pass
something else,
because she is getting a lot of attention.
Unfortunately, she was on her own on that last sequence. It was just a 1-on-4.
Yeah.
Good decision there by Grace Harrison to elect to cover it in immediate danger. Jasmine Horner-Pascoe with a fantastic set of individual schools just dangled right through the legs of Arps there.
Yeah, couldn't get it through to Horner-Pascoe, unfortunately. That was a collision with Grace Harrison, but no damage done.
Again, another isolated rush with the other way now. Team Australia, a 1-on-3, getting a shot off by Dash.
Yeah, that's good. You can see the numbers for New Zealand there. They are getting back on the back check really well tonight. It's a focus, I'm sure, because Australia have shown they've got a lot of speed.
Yeah, and I think that's going to really frustrate Team Australia, especially if New Zealand, they're holding that, and if Australia is trying to get through and penetrate and doesn't get through cleanly, gets blocked, that will immediately lead to Team New Zealand's offense as soon as they get that puck in their own zone and break through. There's a lot of players with speed, and could be something with this second period and the changes you might want to be paying attention to.
There's the hit there. That was Katja Blong with the shoulder versus Julian, was it?
Yeah, Christina Julian, yes.
Yeah. So this is a big game. It's tight. You can feel that both teams are sort of feeling the occasion. Very important for Australia, Matt. If they can get the regulation win tonight, they can come away with a gold medal here in this tournament.
Regulation win will do it for them. They cannot be caught if they win in regulation. That is what is on the line for the Australians. They will want to put everything into this because the reverse scenario is if they lose in regulation, New Zealand has their fate in their own hands at that point with one more game to go, and they'd only need an overtime something or other, depending on the scenario.
At least one point would secure them a gold medal.
Yeah, and Turkey being towards the bottom of the table, that's a good thing. Miracles happen. You got to be careful. I know all about that. But at the same time, this really does come down to Australia's got to go for it here. They have to win. They have to. They're going to have a very tough time if they lose this one in regulation. They'd need a lot of help. Yeah. Same thing for New Zealand if they got to overtime. There's some corner cases. There's some wild stuff. We'll talk about it if it becomes important. But really what it comes down to is Australia wins. This is over. They can play who they want. They are first place. And if New Zealand wins in regulation, they control their fate, and they'll have a very good chance at it. So all comes down to if you're looking at the stats, this difference all comes down to the fact that Ukraine took New Zealand to overtime. Mm-hmm. Yeah. New Zealand still won, but because of the 3-2-1 point system, in case you're an NHL fan and just due to 2 and 1 point thing, you might not know about it.
Yeah. IIHF does it differently.
IIHF does it differently, 3, 2, and 1 for the points.
It's quite clear.
It is very clear, and doesn't. There's a whole discussion about that, but the clarity here, though, is that regulation win gives Australia 3 points, which makes them a 4-point lead with 1 game to go. They can't be caught, and that's how we end up right here with such an important game.
Yeah, righto, folks. That's going to do it for the first period. Tight, exciting game. We're going to take a 5-minute break for 10 minutes, and then we'll be right back for period 2. No mai, hoki mai. Welcome back, everyone, for the big game in the 2025 double IIHF Division 2 Group B Women's Ice Hockey World Championships. It's New Zealand versus Australia. The crowd is in good cheer. We've just witnessed a very, very tight first period, Ian. This game is huge for the tournament, of course, but we look back to the last time New Zealand beat Australia. It was home, here for New Zealand team, up in Auckland.
That's true. Kia ora whanau, and happy Easter, all of you out there. Hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world or even Aotearoa. And that's right, 2013 was the last time Team New Zealand women beat. It was the first time, actually.
First time ever.
First time
Only
and
time.
only time. Australia women have won 15 out of the 16 total matchups to date. So history stacked up against the Kiwis. However, Grace Harrison was the starting goalkeeper and the only winning goalkeeper. She was only 15 years of age.
And that was her first
start internationally
Yes.
at that time up in Auckland. Same for Judy Hill. Both of them 15 at that time. So only a few members of the current New Zealand team were still that are current in the current lineup. That's Anjali Malari, who had an assist in that game. She was 19. Helen Murray, she was 22 at that time, and Jasmine Horner-Pascoe was 19 and had a goal. So that rounds out the Kiwi lineup, and the only Australian that's still currently playing from that game was number 6, Olivia Del Basso, who had 2 points, goal and assist.
Tara Tissink, the game-winning goal in the third period. Hopefully she's watching tonight, tearing the Ice Ferns on. The New Zealand
now called
team.
Tara Fox.
Well, thank you very much for that information, Ian.
You know, actually, I'm going to bring this back a little bit to what I saw. I think there was one key that maybe we hadn't really discussed yet. There was one player that stood out to me in that first period, and that was Kelly Nelson. Nelson won more face-offs than anybody else on the ice. And a lot of the readiness.
She's ready right now.
She is
no one
ready
else
to go.
is there. She's by herself.
And she's actually begging for it to be dropped because they are on time and they have a point. I think the referee's actually going to go over
this is
and
going to
give
be
them
a warning to the bench of Team Australia.
Yep.
The whistle had already gone. They get a certain amount of time. I believe it's 5 seconds.
So here we go. Kelly Nelson in the dot, in the center. She knocks another one away, but it goes back to the Australians. And we're underway for period 2 here at the Dunedin Ice Stadium for the IIHF World Championships Division 2B. Australia with the puck. That's turned over quickly and a shot.
Oh, that's the best opportunity for New Zealand this game.
It is. Judy Hill right in front as that gets passed out. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, a breakdown in defense there by Australia.
Yeah, they kind of mishandled the puck with that new nicely groomed ice. Maybe it got caught a little bit on the wet and sent in front right to Hill, and then Hill makes a shot quickly and forcing King to make another good save.
Nelson to take another one here. They brought Kalinick back out for Australia to take that. She wins that face-off, and they dig away at it. Australia gets a hold of it for a moment, but it goes back to Richmond, and she gets it knocked away. And back to Nelson for a moment. No, it's going to go in a little bit deeper, and
no icing.
No icing the call here. Richmond's got it now. Hollier gave it up. Now it's behind the net. Kalinick with it and holding it, sending it behind. And guys, that ice does look a little bit wet. Shot in front. And another one, and a great save there.
Oh, I think that was a defender diving to stop that puck. Richmond.
A wide open net for a moment, and when they took the shot, it didn't happen. Salmons with it for a moment.
Australia was calling for a penalty there. I think the stick was up in the bread basket.
And Heel gets it out. Salmons collects. Australia with it, and they're looking to be quickly more offensive. Venus up the middle, 1-on-3. They go for a change. Venus holding the puck. Richmond taking the player there, and that's knocked behind. Hollier with it. Hollier looking to get it out. Passes it forward. Long taking it the long way off the right side. Gets all the way into the corner.
Ooh.
And that is some heavy collision there, but Blong held up. Blong was above the player there. She gets it in front. Chances that gets a stick lifted. Half boards there for Abby Heel. That goes around the back and comes to the half boards. Malari with it. Malari looking and sends it backwards as well, but that gets picked off by the Australians. And as they pinch in, that is Rapchuk sending it around, but not out. Oh, well, no. Yes, no. It is not out. It is up. There it is. So Godfrey takes it out. Thank you. Ian's always on the case. That is the way it goes.
Here to help you, buddy.
I know you are. You do a lot, too. I got to admit. Abby Heel with it in the corner. She passes it. Goes out to Jones. Jones heads up looking for an outlet pass as they go 2-3 in this quick-moving offense. Shields gets there first. But the Australians send 2 over and pick the puck away. Goes back to neutral. And New Zealand knock it in. That it was Abby Heel throwing it deep as she goes off the ice. Goes over to Dash. The Australians have it. Dash looking for one off the boards. That goes all the way up, and there will be no icing as Tehama first to the puck. Mills giving it up. And the Australians bringing it back in. That's Arps up the left, sending it around. And it'll be Lily getting there to the puck, sending it back to Cross. Cross up to Mills, didn't get it. Hefford with it now, crossing the blue line, gets it stolen away. And Australia resets. They pass it forward, off a skate. Hefford sending it forward. And that's going to come out just as quickly. Julian with it. 1-on-2, but a chance here for Australia. Julian looking for a kind of a spin around pass. She can't get anything on it. And that's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, it'll be on Julian, I believe.
It will be on Julian. Harrison out of the boards. Lily holding on to it and trying to pass it so they can get an opportunity. Oh, and one of the more unwritten rules there.
Shooting for an empty net goal when you're going to take a penalty.
Yeah, that will be noted. Not exactly the most sporting of choices, but that's all right. It's a hockey game, but that takedown is a 2-minute penalty coming up.
Yeah, it looked initially like the player may have been falling, but there might have been contact from the back with the leg that was sweeping through. So I guess from the viewpoint of the referee, they've seen that and making that call. So Kiwi team, power play here for Team New Zealand.
And it's a shot in front, rebound, and it was a shot from Blong. That's a dangerous one. She's going to get it back up the right side. Out to center, the blue line. Long shot and a goal!
Yes, they've called it. I thought there might have been a high stick, but it's in.
And there's a deflection, and I believe it was Judy Heel's stick. We'll have to see. No, not Judy Heel. It was Horner Pascoe, potentially. We'll have to take a look.
She might not have got anything on it because it just seemed like a bit of a floater.
Oh, that's quite, maybe not. So might not even have hit it.
Yeah, if she didn't hit it, let's see.
It does deflect up, doesn't it? Oh,
it does. So the just to be clear about the rule, I believe the IIHF, it's not the crossbar for the NHL like you might be used to. It's shoulder.
Shoulder height.
It's shoulder height.
Okay, because that looked pretty high, to be fair.
And New Zealand with no review there, and 1-0 the lead for New Zealand. They take a surprising lead here in period 2.
Cashing in on that power play right away.
Yeah, first time in the tournament they've scored on the power play.
First time Australia's given one up. There's all sorts of things.
Firsts could be happening.
Richmond going to chase this one down as we're back up 5-on-5, of course, after the goal. Hollier with it. Hollier looking for an outlet. Gets that turned over. Australia keeping it in the zone. And it's Blong behind the net passing it. And a bad pass out to the middle as it was Salmons jumping the zone there. New Zealand lucky to get it back. Malari with it. Now she's halfway up. Takes the blue line, goes up the right side, takes a shot. A save, but it goes out of the glove of King. And it goes in front. A chance here, shot, that's deflected, never got through. And that stays in the zone. Lily with a good job keeping that in the zone. And passed around by Australia. Cross there, trying to hold on to it. Takes it away from Salmons, but that goes out to an Australian player. Davis Tope has it and sends it out to right about the middle near the scorer's table. A couple of collisions, and they chunk away at the puck there. Not sure if that's, no, it's not icing. That was over the red line. And that goes out to Murray, and that's pass forward. Australia collects. New Zealand over the boards, and everybody with fresh legs out there. That's a turnover deep. Shot, and it goes over the crossbar. That was dangerous. Hannah Shields with a chance there, but it floats a little bit high. She still has the puck going up the slot.
Getting slashed absolutely from the side and behind.
And that falling over is, we play on. That puck is in the corner. Australia still has it. Shields with it, holds it in. Can't see it exactly. It hits the side of the net. Big collision. Penalty coming up. It'll be on Australia. That is a hit to the head, it looked like.
Possibly interference as well. As the New Zealand player went towards the net, and the defender just said, no, you're not coming through here.
Yeah. Tehima against, I think it was Mills. We'll see it here again. You guys want to take this one?
Yeah, Shields gets the puck, takes a shot, bit of a wobbly puck. It's still there. Oh, and then all of a sudden,
cross check, wasn't it? Really
kind of followed through a little bit with the elbow.
Replay of the goal again. The shot coming from the point from Jones. Just like a floating shot.
Face-off lost by Shields. That goes behind to Crompton. Crompton clears the zone, and Jones has it as New Zealand sets up. Long with it, cutting up the left side with speed. Tries to cut in. Takes a shot. That backhander knocked away by King. She didn't move much, and there's another stop in play. Hand pass called, and that's going to come out of the zone.
New Zealand with all sorts of momentum here at the moment. They've had various penalties coming their way.
Now this face-off will come out to
gaining
one of the
an awful lot of
dots.
momentum from that goal, and now they're on the power play. So Team New Zealand giving it another opportunity here to potentially double up on their arch rival Australians.
Another win by the Australians at the face-off dot, but they get the puck back. New Zealand has it. Jones passes it, and that's turned over. Jones has it again, safely pushing it to the side, but that is Cochran trying to cause all sorts of trouble and really just take up some time, but only 10 seconds off, or 40 seconds off now. Nelson up the right side, takes a shot through the legs, and it goes to the glass, bounces off, and that stays with New Zealand. Nelson with it. Low shot, that's kicked aside by King. Australia trying to get it out, but only as far as the half boards. A couple of changes. Australia staying back, playing the 2-2 box, waiting a long time. Back to Shields. Shields pushes it forward and turns it over. That doesn't get through. New Zealand's going to have to chase this down. Richmond's going to go get it. Forecheck by Davis Tope, but she's not going to go too far into it. And Heel takes it out up the right side. Pass forward. Goes up to Judy Heel. Heel's got it. Lily pressing away as that's in the corner. Pullen doing a great job of killing some time here as two New Zealand players looking to get that out. They do. Heel with it, passes it. Out to Richmond. Richmond passes it over. Not quite tape to tape. Gets it back. Misses that one. And is that going to stay in the zone? Not quite. And a good play there. And Davis Tope going down. And it will be a trip, and that's going to make it 4-on-4 for a little while.
Yeah, tripping on Abby Hill. Just unfortunate miss on the shot from the point there from New Zealand. And so that caused a bit of a fumble on the blue line, and that led to the trip there from Abby Hill trying to make up for the mistake.
She's trying to chop away at the puck, but gets legs.
Yeah, Davis Tope was clearly in front, and being behind the Australian, taking them down, that's going to result in 2 minutes.
Nelson taking this one against Julian. Julian winning that one. Australia holding it out. Guys, it's 5-on-4, right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Shot, and that goes wide. Goes off the boards quickly. Harrison saw it, moved across, and that goes into the corner. Just one New Zealander there, but that works out, and it is Hollier pushing it out to neutral.
Very well played to get it to the middle of the rink to have the supporting winger get that puck out of the zone under pressure. Well played.
Del Basso brings it behind the net, and she gives it up. Stick lost for a moment there, as it'll be Nelson coming off the ice, coming off the ice, and that change allows Australia to set up here. They go behind the net, looking for a pass. They get that shot, kick save, and Del Basso leaves it in the zone just barely. Australia setting up, takes the shot that goes behind Harrison. Coming around. Killinick with the pass that goes off of a long shot by DeBasso. DeBasso on this one passing it to Killinick. Killinick in the corner all alone. New Zealand a little bit Well, their zone's a little bit upset here, and that's passed around, and a good chance for Australia, but they just couldn't get the backhand on it. That was Crompton with a chance. That's out up top to Del Basso, another kick save, and a stop, a crease violation by Australia. That's going to come out of the zone.
Yes, Team Australia elects to send their captain directly in front of the net, parking herself right on the blue paint in front of Grace Harrison, causing all sorts of bother. And the referee is in great position to see this and decides, okay, you spent a little bit too much time in that space, not allowing the goaltender having that clean option to make a save.
30 seconds to go. Blong loses that faceoff, goes to Cochran. Cochran brings it in the zone for Australia. She holds on to it, goes up halfway, sends a pass forward looking for a rebound. Harrison kicks it aside to the corner, comes out halfway. Another shot, and they fire that away. Another kick save goes to the corner. New Zealand sweeping it out, doesn't get as far as the blue line. Held up high. Venus with it. Shot that goes off of Harrison's mask and in the net. 1-1 the score. Australia tie it up.
Scoring on the power play. Australia doing a really good job of moving that puck around, and they've been firing pucks hard on net. These are hard shots and a lot of rebounds coming out there from Grace Harrison as well.
Yeah, Australia has it at the point here, and they get it to Venus 14 with that traffic in front. And Grace looked like she was looking the other way, and her body position was down, and the puck went in to her right side. We got a tight hockey game, both scoring on the power play. 1-1 here. 10 minutes left in period number 2.
Australia winning another face-off. They take the puck forward with momentum, 2-on-2 and a break, and a shot and goal. They score again. That is Aparicio with a goal right off the face-off. 2-1 the score. Australia taking and seizing the momentum.
Yeah, here we see coming in, making a nice move to the forehand and then just putting it up high. Momentum has shifted in this game, Ian. That power play to Australia really started them off with the right foot, and now they're just carrying that forward, taking the lead here.
Another small delay in getting the players back out on the ice. And Australia gets set up, and they're about to drop the puck with or without a player. Shields there. She wins the face-off. That goes backwards to Richmond. Richmond following her mark around. That's Godfrey sending it into the center, but it's nobody home for Australia. Gregory moving it out all on her own. She gets topped off her stick, turned over to Hollier. Hollier brings it in the zone, stays with it, stays in the zone for a moment, but Australia has it. They take it forward, pass forward, and they're going to, no icing here. That's going to be Godfrey. And then another big collision in behind. Richmond getting the worst end of that. Mills taking it in the zone for a moment. Doesn't quite get there. Now it does. Comes back out. No, stays in. Excuse me. Mills throwing it forward. Goes all the way to the corner. A big break there for New Zealand. Richmond coming off the ice after that collision. Australia looking to get it out. They're going up the left side. Eyes up trying to get a pass going, but New Zealand in a good defensive spot. That goes around pass cross to Lily. Lily's going to send it back to Cross, looking forward, trying to get that puck forward and out of the zone. Heel has it. Heel's going to not dump and chase. She's 1-on-2. She's got the half boards, but gets it taken off of her. Cross tries to get away from it. She's out of position. 2-on-1 for the Australians. And Maltner takes a shot. It goes behind, and Maltner stays with it. Goes over to Cross, and Cross looking to relieve the pressure. That bounces off an Australian player, goes forward, stays at his offside dash, clears the zone. Cross looks for it, sends it to center ice. Horner Pascoe can't handle it. Heel has it, takes it in. She's 1-on-2. A long shot attempt, but that goes off of traffic, and it was Rapchuk in the right spot. That bounces off her, but it goes into the corner, and that's Horner Pascoe with it. That goes out to Jones. Jones sends it back forward behind the goal line, and they chase back in. Nelson kicking it out. Horner Pascoe with it. Now gets sent away by Australia. Jones trying to pinch in at the point. She does a good job of keeping the puck in. That stays in the zone, but now passed out by Australia. But they're going for a change. It'll be Heel with it, collecting and passing forward. Horner Pascoe looking for it. She's going to take it all on her own. Going up the right side, quick move, and a backhanded shot in front. And it was given up on a rebound, and that comes off the goal. The goal comes off of its mount there, and that's going to result in the stop of play.
Yeah, Horner Pascoe doing some great movement inside move with a backhand off the pad of the goalkeeper and then still loose, but that play gets whistled because the New Zealander gets kind of sent into the goal, knocking it off its pegs, and that is why the whistle has gone, and we will have a stoppage.
Yeah, Sarah Dash coming and just pushing Kelly Nelson all the way into Sacha King, the goalkeeper there, bringing the net off. So New Zealand just need to calm things down here a little bit. Down by one. After the momentum swing the Aussies' ways, they just need to calm down and get under control here.
Julian winning that, sitting at the length of the ice, and that is Abasso holding on to the puck and skating with it. Drops it back to Julian. Julian at the point, lots of room, takes it in and shoots and scores. Julian given all sorts of room going right up the slot, gets a lot of time, takes a shot and hits the upper right corner to make it 3-1 Australia.
Australia showing some of the reasons why they are the team to beat in this tournament with a wicked wrist shot. Christina Julian, mom of two, and also a former player for Canada for soccer, multi-sport athlete, getting it done on the ice as well in other avenues.
Taking her tournament tally up to 4 goals.
Australia winning another face-off, a big change from the first period. They're winning a lot of those, and another high-speed chance here, 3-on-2 for Australia. Kick save, and Harrison knocks it to the corner. Venus chasing. It's crossed now into the corner, and they try to dig that out. That's Salmons trying to get the most of that, but she's got 3 players on her, but she keeps it anyway. Salmons with it, and then finally it's turned over. Passed forward from Shields to Mills to Shields, and Shields gets it taken off her for a moment. Shields in front, hits the side of the netting on the goal. The New Zealand team holds on to it, and it's Shields. Still has it. Now given up to Australia. They try to send it out of the zone, but instead, that is Jamie Jones, and she's not going to get called for a check there because she was playing the puck. Mills with it. Mills with a pass in front. That gets sent back out. Somebody's skate got caught there, and that stays in for a little bit longer anyways. And Australia sends it out to heel. And a lot of good forechecking there by Australia. Although Nelson wants this puck on her stick. She's going to get a one-on-one, maybe 2-on-1. She holds on to it, tries to get it to heel. Judy Heel can't do anything with it, never gets to her. And it's going to go the length of the ice for an icing call as Abby Heel goes back and tags up. They're going to ask for it on the right side.
I think that was Lily Roberts. Here's the goal. Christina Julian with a beautiful snipe to the top corner. Wonderful shooting.
What you'll notice too, though, Matt, is a lot of traffic in front of Grace Harrison. She has to look around multiple players to try and track that puck, making it really difficult to see.
As a deflection and almost could have counted as a shot the way that bounced in. Crompton lost that one for Australia for a change. Lineman getting a better of it there, and that stays in with Australia. They go to the point. Cochran holding on to it, then giving it up. Crompton cycling. Crompton with a long pass shot and just missed. Harrison out of position there, but the connection doesn't happen. Crompton with it, skates up that same spot, and they're giving a lot of space on that high circle slot area. That goes back into the corner and knocked back out by Richmond. Horner Pasco here. Guys, I'm not seeing Blong take too many shifts.
That's true, yeah. We'll keep an eye out and see if there's any update or any injury.
I can see Australia really starting to take advantage of that collapsing New Zealand defense. They're using the space around the outside really well.
New Zealand offsides there. They had to let that go. Lily's going to get to that puck first, and they don't give her the icing on that. Marginal call, but they continue play. 2-on-2 into the near corner on this side. And it is Murray with it getting the puck out. She's double teamed into the Zamboni doors. They take it away. Australia's got it. That's Tehema with the good puck work. She kicks it out for a moment, but it's taken by New Zealand. Passed across ice. And they break out with it 3-on-3. That's passed to the side. A couple of going, or that'll be Murray going for the change there. Australia holding on to it. They pass it forward. That one, again, not icing. That one goes past Pullen. Hefford with it. She's got to come back out. She leaves it instead. Blong comes out, a penalty coming up, and it'll be interesting. Ian, you are the expert at the breakaway.
Offensive penalty shot or not? That's what you're
No,
asking.
I don't see the
It looks
there
like it's
from the
just
referee.
a 2-minute penalty for the trip.
Let's take a
Shot
look
out
at
of
it.
a cannon, cut your Blong up the middle. I think it's
1-on-2.
nice move to the backhand.
Doesn't quite get all the shot away. Has definitely got interfered with the stick. And that is why Team Australia will have a penalty here. Team New Zealand with 3 minutes 50 left in the second period.
This could be
Looking
crucial.
to narrow it down a little bit here going into the period break.
You've just felt the momentum swing the Australians' way. There have been 3 unanswered goals. Could this be the opportunity New Zealand needs?
Jones had it for a moment, but then the pass across the ice by Blong. Intercepted, 2-on-1 shorthanded chance here. They hold up. Killinick deciding to take the time instead. She's triple team. Malari has it. She's going to break out of the left side, passes it forward. 2-on-3. They pass it across the ice. Nelson can't quite get it. It was Venus in front of it. She's going to send it down and hold up and allow Jones to reset. Jones has it, passes it across to Malari. Malari looking up. Malari passing it back to Blong.
New Zealand just need to slow up here, just find the accuracy with the passes as they enter the zone.
Blong all the way in. New Zealand just struggling to get all 5 players out there at the moment, but they do have the advantage now. Nelson with that. And that gets taken away and sent out of the zone. It's Richmond that's going to have to skate this one down. Salmon's going off the ice, so no forecheck on that. Richmond passing it forward up to Horner Pascoe, up to Heel. Heel taking it in up the right side, leaving it. Horner Pascoe leaves it behind, goes to Abby Heel. Heel's got it there, heel to heel, and heel to heel. And Abby holds on to it, gives it up again, and that gets passed, but not out. Richmond has it, out to the half boards. Expanding box here by the Australians, doing a great job of defense, and no shot getting through. That's going to go down to Harrison, and a good start here for the first, 90 seconds for the power play. The penalty kill's been excellent so far. Shields up the right side, holds on to it, waits for everybody. Out to Richmond on the top. Shields sending it low, deflected, getting it back. Out to Richmond. Pass to the side, cross ice, Shields with a shot. Deflected just over the crossbar, stays in play on the far half boards. Penalty over, Richmond with it, passes it, and Shields loses it. It did hit King in the helmet, and that's a big hit there by Julian.
Collision.
That is a monster collision, and that's just an offsides call. No penalty there.
That was some beautiful puck movement just towards the end of that power play. The New Zealanders moving across the top and back and forth. And then finally the fantastic shot. That was Horner Pascoe.
To Shields and then off the crossbar.
So that was Shields. Yeah, Shields there. Man, what an opportunity for New Zealand there.
And they did not cash in, so the scoreline remains 3 to Australia, 1 to New Zealand.
And that was offside. Once again, Australia winning the faceoffs. This has been the theme for this particular period. They've started possession almost every time because they keep winning at the faceoff drop.
Minute 20 left in the second period.
Heel to take this one against Julian. And just as I say that, New Zealand with a win on that. Jones passing it away. That goes a little bit down the ice, but it'll be picked up by Roberts. She sends it behind. Horner Pascoe sending it back in. Off to Murray. And that's sent towards the slot, but nobody home for New Zealand. Australia clears that. They're going to push that forward. Aparicio, former goal scorer here tonight. And then Julian going down. That's a penalty coming up here and stop in play. Once again, the slot cut person coming up the back end, usually F3, cutting in across, getting pulled down.
Yeah, a bit of a danger area, but cutting in. So Del Basso passes in the middle, and just as they received that pass, instantly hit from the side was Christina Julian.
And now there is a player down over here, so it's going to be just a few minutes on this restart. maybe if we can see that again, it looked like Del Basso came in off sides. I don't know if that's...
The puck was released. The pass
yeah, there was. Okay, that was
the line.
It was. So
that would seem to be fine, but maybe not so fine as the hit that Christina Julian received as she was trying to receive that puck.
And Julian is up and making her way to the bench.
But nevertheless, that's going to put Team New Zealand on a penalty kill to finish this period potentially with 49 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
not where they want to be at this point in the game.
No, exactly. They've been struggling to keep the Australians down on the penalty kill, and they'll be buoyed Australians by the way they've been playing the power play. They got 50 seconds, which is plenty of time to work here.
Rapchuk with it, gets it, passes it, shot. And it is Davis Tope with a long shot. Harrison with the glove save. Not much time off, but a stop nonetheless, and they'll redo it.
I got to say, the shots that Australia are able to get from the point, these are hard shots. They're really firing these ones on.
Australia win another face-off. They hold on to it. Goes out to Venus. Venus has it. Cycling. Gives it back up top. Low shot. Deflected. Harrison has it. And a bit of a cross-check there. A little bit of a, hi, how you doing?
It's a bit extra from Stephanie Cochrane, the captain for Team Australia. There's no secret. Very tall, strong individual, parked in front of the goal. This is a repeat of the earlier power play where Venus had scored. And Cochrane making a bit of a nuisance of herself in front of the net, as Bryce might say there. So
full change for New Zealand. Australia with it again out at the blue line. They hold high. The 1-1-2 for the New Zealand defense on the penalty kill. Passed under the side. Shot. Venus not getting through that. A good position save for Harrison as she sat there and waited for it. And that puck goes the length of the ice with Cochrane sitting there waiting at the blue line. And the Australians moving forward. They
One last rush.
come in the zone quickly. Go a little deep, leave it back for the half, take a long shot, no deflection. Now everybody's scrambling, and a good chance for Australia, but they simply run out of time here with 1:10 to go on the penalty to carry over. 3-1 the score, guys. Australia winning that second period handily.
yeah, they really have raised up their gameplay in this second period, and it's been evident that they've been controlling a lot of this play, dictating how the game is going, and making the Kiwis make some plays.
Yeah, it was a period that the New Zealanders won't look back on too fondly. A couple of penalties there, which has cost them. They took the lead, but then consecutive penalties against them swung their momentum back to Australia. So New Zealand in the next period will be looking to clean those penalties up so that they can stay with the even strength play, which is something that Australia's capitalised on.
Yeah, Australia's done a fantastic job of adjusting. They've done several things right since the end of the first period. They're focusing on coming in quickly, no matter what happens. Instead of being run up the boards and being pressed out, they're cutting in, and they're getting more chances that way. And they're, like I said before, they're winning face-offs, they're holding possession, and they're waiting on the outside. They're allowing New Zealand to do what New Zealand did this Thursday against Hong Kong, China. They played back, they had to wait, and they didn't jump out to the blue line. And again, they're getting, Australia are getting chances to just sit out on the blue line and survey the entire option. Then they can either pass, walk in, or shoot. And if you're Australia, you're going to take that every time because you get every chance.
Well, they're getting rewarded for their patient play as well,
Yes.
aren't they? And they're also getting rewarded from the Kiwis being a little bit too aggressive on them, either with the stick or with the body. And they're taking advantage on the special teams. And that's been the difference so far as well, besides all that consistent pressure that they're doing with their forecheck. They're not allowing the Kiwi team to get out cleanly. And it's a very tight contest. They are not letting each other have a lot of room. Now with a 3-1 scoreline, Australia knows that the next goal is also very crucial. A 2-goal lead in hockey is not easy to maintain. And at this level where goal scoring is at a premium, both of these teams have great offense and can score. But if they hold in structure, they can really make the Kiwis make some extra maneuvers or mistakes potentially and then go on the counterattack.
Yeah, at the start of the period, it felt like New Zealand had got themselves up for it. They came out hard. They were forechecking really well, and that created the momentum for their first goal. But they seem to have lost that a little bit. They're not pushing quite as hard, and Australia are finding themselves coming up the ice with a little bit more ease. So, Matt, third period coming up.
Yeah.
What does New Zealand do differently?
New Zealand has to do some things differently. They have, first of all, they have to start getting possession of the puck and holding on to that possession of the puck. They also need to go back to what they were doing in the first period, which is, again, patience a little bit, but not making the mistake of passing in the center third that gets intercepted. You saw a lot of that in the second period, where Australia was jumping the lanes, if you would, kind of call it that.
Active sticks and disrupting the pass through.
And being in the right place. They were positioning themselves to break up what was a simple two-pass attack. They know it's going to be a pass from the back, a pass from the middle, pass to the blue line. That's the attack when they try to get through speed. When they do that, if they're breaking it up, New Zealand doesn't really get a chance to set up, and they're not really equipped to play dump and chase against this team.
Right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the second period. This is the first goal that New Zealand got, and it's a shot from the point from Jamie Jones.
Yeah, just a nice wrister, and it just had a bit of a wobble to it, and it just dipped down low. I don't think there was any contact. But the official ruling was you can have the stick at crossbar level. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
Thank you for the officials.
Shoulder level. Yep.
Confirming that.
That was a near thing from Hannah Shields.
Crossbar.
Great tournament, Hannah Shields. Played her 50th game earlier. She's looking really dangerous. And she had an opportunity earlier, which we'll probably see a bit later as well in these highlights.
This one here was a shot there, then the defender stepping right into the Kiwi player.
Yeah, not a cross check, just a bit of a big.
No, but definitely
shot.
a penalty and a call needs to be made. Great save there as the 1-2 pass from behind the net, finding the open person in front.
Yeah, I don't think Grace Harrison has not played badly at all. There's been some well-placed shots that have gotten through, but she's been in good position most of the time.
This will be the goal here by Venus from the point.
Traffic
Great
in front.
slap shot. Yep. Cochran blocking the view as there's a bit of a battle in front. And slap shot right through and hit that post as well.
She went left. She looked
was
left,
looking a little
she had
bit.
to come back. This was pretty quickly after that first goal for Australia. So by this time now, the momentum had truly shifted to the Australians.
Yeah, they had that second goal, and then all of a sudden this happened within the next 10 seconds, and they scored again. That brilliant move from Jasmine Horner-Pascoe, outside-inside move, and then the collision with the goaltender knocking the pegs off.
Yeah, she really does have some nice silky hands, Horner-Pascoe. Seen it in the NZWHL before.
Yeah, and there's a rebound here too, Matt, but it just unfortunately goes to the other side of where Nelson is driving the net and does pay the price for going to the net.
Yeah, it's a percentage. It's a percentage play. Here's the third goal. Christina Julian with a wonderful wrist shot.
Yeah, a lot of traffic again in front.
A lot of traffic and no pressure out in front.
Yeah, no one's taking that shooter and needs to be.
No one's taking the lane.
The lane needs to be definitely blocked.
You can see New Zealand's really getting down low. They're collapsing around. And
they missed another opportunity there. Grace Harrison was just out of position. This pass across was pinpoint. Unfortunately, it might have been rolling.
Yep, that's all it was.
They didn't get all of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Australia are really taking advantage. There was Katya Blong with a great drive. And that was another penalty on the Australians.
That was handled.
Yeah, their penalty kill has been good. All tournament. What a nice little move there.
Stick right up and then
didn't get an opportunity to really get a good shot away there, did she? This is great
chance.
passing here, and then Shields again. Double deflection?
Yeah, she got all of it by the looks of it, but it goes off the middle crossbar.
Pass. I think it did get two deflections. One, maybe. Oh, it wasn't off the helmet.
It goes right off the top of the crossbar and then out of play.
Game
of inches, guys. That would have been a big goal for near the end of that second period, and then could have been a one-goal game, but it isn't. It is a 3-1 game at present. Team Australia over Team New Zealand here in Otipoti, Dunedin.
Yeah, it's living up to the hype. It's a really big game. The crowd are loving it. They're into it. We've got some good Aussie supporters here as well. You can hear them when the Australians score. Let's hope that there's more goals coming up in the third period, guys, because we want this one to really get on. So we're going to take a wee break, and we'll be back with you in about 10 minutes for period 3. No mai, hoki mai. Welcome back, everyone. We are just about ready for period 3 in this huge game here on a Saturday night in Ōtepoti, Aotearoa. Australia on top of the moment versus the host nation, New Zealand. 3-1 the score, Ian. Such an exciting game.
Oh, absolutely is. It's living up to its billing. Definitely feels like a gold medal match, and I think the Australians now are starting to sense that it could be more within their reach if they are able to hold on at least. Last year they were a little bit hard done by the People's Democratic Republic of Korea, going down 2-1 in a shootout. That was in Istanbul, Turkey last year, and they also lost a gold medal potential game in 2023 against Belgium. 4-1 they went down, so they've always been right there. Now it's a little bit closer for them, so they'll be looking to secure that hand on it with two hands, maybe not just one.
Yeah, they could probably smell it. They could almost touch it. Matt, they're on top, Australia. How do they close the game out like this? How do they make sure that they come out the victors?
They need to close this game out by getting New Zealand to get pressed into the boards. What I mean by that, anytime something comes out to the center, they need to move them wide. Any chance they get to move them wide, they're okay. Their defense is fast enough that they can handle it. If New Zealand can manage to narrow it and go a bit more north-south, they're going to have much better angles in which to shoot, and they have a chance. So look for Australia to continue to push them outward.
All right, Matty, take it away as we start period 3.
Third period action.
Power play.
And here we go. It is a power play. A minute, I want to say minute 10, minute 11 to go on the power play for the Australians. And as they drop the puck for the third period, we get underway with Australia 20 minutes away from a world championship in Division 2B. Julianne coming up the ice, hopefully feeling better after the second period as she got knocked over a bit, and that goes deep. Lily's got it. Lily's going to send it back. No, she gets it taken off of her stick, but New Zealand has it. They're going to take this out and not shoot it down. They have numbers here, 2-on-1. Blanc takes a shot, high shot, goes over the crossbar. Good chance there, and a great time waster. She gets it back, goes around the net, and then sends it behind. And as New Zealand is outnumbered there, it is Crompton holding on to it, giving it back to Del Basso. And Del Basso setting up the offense with just one forecheck coming in. Del Basso up the left side. Del Basso holding it with one hand, sits and stops at the half boards, gets it sent back to her, but it goes to the corner, and then another miss. Crompton not getting there. And New Zealand not choosing to press outward. They're staying in their zone box here. Arps with a low shot that gets knocked away, doesn't get in, and goes out to neutral. They have to reset.
Penalty has expired here, Matt.
Yeah, surprised they didn't press harder on that missed play over in the corner there, but they got away with it.
And they did kill the penalty.
They did, and they're choosing to hold the zone. They have the puck again, and it's Horner Pascoe getting it in front to Nelson. She can't pull the trigger. That stays in. And it is Hollier keeping it in the corner. It's turned over. Salmon's with it now. She looks to break out. Hands it up to Mahoney at halfway up. She goes up the right side, passes it to the center, and that's going to come back out. Again, chance for the New Zealand breakaway here. Horner Pascoe with it. Passes it. Nelson can't get everything on it. Horner Pascoe taken down. No call there. We play on. Salmon's looking at it. No, it is sent behind, and by Pullen with a long pass forward. That's going to go for icing here. As long as Lily's in front, she wins the race, and icing the call against Australia.
Yeah, a bit of a different collision there with Arps coming in against Horner Pascoe and taking her down. You'll see it here as the 2-on-2 shapes out. Horner Pascoe gains the line, passes to Nelson, kind of a one-time, not all that clean, and then they get tangled up, one on top of the other. Horner Pascoe, yeah, and then just awkwardly trying to get back up on her feet.
Salmons wins that one, and that face-off stays with the Australians as they try to get out of their zone. That's turned over, and it was Mills looking for a friend in the slot, but couldn't find one. And that puck stays in the zone. Shields with it. Shields going through the crease. Can't do anything with it as her stick was slightly lifted there. Gregory holds it in for a moment. Now Salmons has it. She flips it forward. That does get to neutral. Turned over. New Zealand with it. Heel.
Shields is having a game tonight, I tell you that.
Gregory doesn't get a hold of that one. It turns over, but Malari for a moment had that, then gets in the way. Now it's Blong back out, hassling Venus, and then Heel steals it away, sends it up the ice. Hansen with the forecheck. Turn back to Heel. Heel looking for somebody. Gives it up to Hansen. Hansen throws it deep. Goes behind the net. King watches it go behind. And Australia resets. Dash has it in the corner. Dash brings it up herself. Blong on the pressure. Up to Tehema. Tehema going up the right side. That's deflected out. Blong with a 1-on-2 here. She's going to skate up and go the right side. She's got Abby Heel looking with it. Shot at goal! Backhander on her own, and Blong makes it 3-2. New Zealand gets one back.
New Zealand's leading goal scorer, Katja Blong, with a fantastic move there.
Another individual effort that really has lifted this crowd up, as all the way from her own zone, looking initially as a 1-on-2, cutting back and forth, using Heel as potential passing option, and then gets it to the forehand and puts it right home.
Guys, if this isn't growing ice hockey in New Zealand, I don't know what is. This building is packed, it's rocking. Australia still with a 3-2 lead. They win the face-off, and we get restarted here with Rapchuk throwing it forward, and they're going to dump and chase, and it'll be Hollier picking it up. And New Zealand with Horner Pascoe trying to get it out, stays in the zone for just a moment. Julianne with it for a moment, off the sideboard, and then it is Nelson throwing it around. Over to the other half boards, 4 players digging away at it. That puck's gonna go back to neutral, a chase for it, and it is Nelson. She decides to leave it alone, no icing there, so they just go for a change. Australia with it for a moment, Del Basso pushing it back for Cochran. Cochran getting it forward, that pass is missed. Richmond can't get there. She's gonna skate back, and it will be called icing. She gets back in time. Del Basso with a good effort there.
Well, This is exactly what New Zealand needed, Ian.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just a big boost for Team New Zealand with that 3-1 lead. They're down by 2 and making this great move just under the glove, over the pad. That's a hard place for a goalie to stop it. Good placement there by Katja Blong, making this game within 1.
Shields almost gets that one, but Cochran pulls it away, and the Australians take the puck, and they try to move out. They do. The captain pushing it forward up to Rapchuk. Rapchuk taking it in, crossing the blue line, going up the right side, looking for a pass. Instead, it's Lilly there first, cuts her off, and grabs the puck, looking for an exit. That goes up half the boards, and it's going to be skated out by Mills. Mills leaves it, and it is Shields with a shot. Not too troubling for King, and she just slams her glove down and gets a stop.
Well, Hannah Shields is having a fantastic game at the moment. You can see she's putting everything into this one. You can just feel that New Zealand is lifting. They're gaining momentum from the crowd. The energy is coming through to them on the ice.
Blong to take this one up against Kalinick. And Blong wins it, but it goes the length of the ice as it hops over Jones' stick. And her marker gets there first as she tries to pass it through, but it is Jones with it. She's going to pass it out. Leaves it for Hefford. Hefford spins around, leaves it behind. Heel with a long shot, deflection, rebound, and a stop by King as it was Malari waiting for that puck to pop out.
Yeah, good spinorama pass one time from the point. Abby Heel shot there. A little bit of a rebound. Malari on top of it, but immediately swarmed by 2 Australian defenders as the Kiwis coming right back.
Just needed a wee touch on it as it came in from Malari there, didn't it?
Nelson to take this one. She wins it. New Zealand keeps the puck for a moment, gets a small shot, but just gets knocked away by the Australians, and they break out, trying to get some offensive pressure here. It'll be Mahoney with the puck for a moment. That gets to Harrison. Knocked away. Harrison scrambles. That goes in front of the goal. Pass, and that's deflected. Wow, that was a dangerous chance there for the Australians. Just nobody in the right spot, as that was a uncontrolled for a little while through the crease. Now Roberts with it. She sends a long shot in, and it was Mahoney just waiting around for a rebound that never came.
Yeah, just that puck initially before was just bouncing around, just out of the reach of a few of the New Zealanders. I thought Grace Harrison had a chance to freeze it on the far side, but she couldn't get to it, and that caused that wraparound and then the confusion in front.
14 minutes to go here, and another face-off won by the Kiwis. That's knocked into the side. Lily trying to get to it, but it's Australia there. They hold on to it. I think that's Dash that's going to come out, and that's turned over. And it'll be Nelson trying to get it out of the zone. Can't do it. Cochran has it, holds it in, sends it around, gets her stick back, but it's New Zealand there first, kicking it away. Some physicality there with Cross. Out to Australia on the point, on the far side. They send it back around. Lily's there, but gives it up. It'll be Dash again, holding and trying to backhand that note. She spins it back, sends it to Tehama. Tehama with it to Cochran at the point. That doesn't get through. That stays in the zone, passed into the half boards. A chase for it, and looks like it was Hannah Cross getting there first. Everybody fighting for it at the half boards, and that puck goes deep behind the goal. Lily's there. Lily gets there, gets her stick lifted, but gets it to Horner Pascoe at the half boards, taken away by the Australian. That is Rapchuk sending it around. They're going for a change. We continue on here. Cross is going, no, it's going to be sent to the outside, and it's Heel with it. Heel skates it out herself, goes through center ice.
Got to get
she
this
spins
one deep.
around, and the change happens for New Zealand as they desperately needed a line change. Heel spins it out, keeps it. Shields has it, 1-on-3, going deep into the zone, holds up at the half boards on the left side. It gets sent in towards the goal, but not quite with any power, and Mills can't get to it, but it's saved at the point, sent back in, stays in halfway. New Zealand chases it, couldn't keep it at the point again. It was Mills trying to get there. That's not going to go for icing. It'll be Abby Heel collecting it with Del Basso on the forecheck. Heel avoids the forecheck, but the double team gets there. That gets sent out to neutral, and Australia has it again. It'll be Pullen with the puck, looking for a pass up forward, and it is Davis Tope gets run into there. That pass intercepted for a moment, but Australia keeps the possession. They are at the half board trying to cycle it. It'll be Davis Tope again behind the net, looking for somebody to pass to. Instead takes a high shot. That's a dangerous one, but not on target. Harrison watches it go by her, and that cycle continues in the deep zone for Australia. They bring it out half boards, looking for a pass. That is pressured. It goes back into the corner. It'll be Davis Tope again as they go for a couple of changes. Pullen going off the ice. Davis Tope with it again, sending it behind the net. It'll be Jamie Jones with it for a moment. They're kicking away at it. Killinick trying to pull the puck back in. Australia not able to do it, but it stays in the corner and it stays in the zone. New Zealand having a very hard time getting out of the zone. They're playing 5 on the entire far side here, puck side, and that's problems as that puck came into the crease, but Harrison was there and knocks it away. That chance, a good one for Australia, but New Zealand breaking out now. That goes halfway out, and it's Blong that can't hold on to it. Another change necessary by New Zealand as Arps throws it in, and they need to make sure that they have some fresh legs out there as this play continues and is consecutive. That puck goes in front, and a good chance for Australia again as the defense was caught out of position. New Zealand finally figuring something out here. Shot, that's kicked away, and a good save by Harrison. Blong sending it out. 2-on-3 here, and it is Malari with it. And Malari loses the puck just outside the zone, so New Zealand needs to reset. Hollier with the puck, sends it around, goes to Richmond. Richmond not there in time. She does get there. Australia's got 2 players pinning it against the boards. It's still in the offensive zone for Australia, and they send it backwards. It is Caitlin Hollier again getting that to an outlet pass to, Hansen, and they let that go. And Aparicio trying to send it in the zone, but she loses it. Now that puck goes out to neutral. They lose it again. That is not offsides. They pick it up. Horner Pascoe with it now, sending it up the ice. So she's going to skate it herself, go through the blue line, halfway up. Good move there. Sends it forward. 3-on-5 here. Australia's going to get that puck. Rapchuk has it behind the net, but 2 forecheckers there, and that's going to pay off as Nelson gets to the puck first. Nelson sends it back around. Horner Pascoe sees it go by, and Australia set up as they have the puck. That's turned over in neutral. That is offsides by not very much, as it was Horner Pasco that couldn't quite get over the blue line. And we'll go to a replay here.
Wow, just continuous action, but the Team New Zealand just going offside there is one of their only offensive chances, as the last 2 minutes of play was 95% inside of their own zone.
Yeah, Australia applying the screws here on New Zealand. And that was an extended period of play.
Killenik winning that faceoff, but a turnover deep, and that's given back to Judy Heel. She takes a shot, but it's kicked aside by King, goes into the corner. Heel turns it back around. Australia picks it up. They look to exit the zone. They get it up to Salmons. Salmons does just that, but it comes back in, and Arps has it to set up for Australia. A couple of changes for New Zealand here as they come out, and that's turned over. Maybe a chance, maybe not, and Australia hold on to it. It's Salmons again up the right side looking for a long shot. That's kicked away by Harrison, goes into the corner. Not cleanly bouncing out, and that puck stays at the half boards. They kind of fight away for it, and that goes back out. And then there's there's a 1-on-2 chance here, and it's Shields. She gets pushed into the corner. That goes out to the half boards, sent around, and Australia have it. It was Gregory not able to hold it in, but Heel does. Abby Heel throwing it back in, and Australia have it. Salmons again all over the place. That's going to go back to Heel. Australia go for a change. New Zealand trying to press here. They're going to go through and get 3-on-4. Jones with it, takes a shot, ricochets off the shins of a defender, and Australia have it again, and that is Godfrey pushing it forward, spinning around, losing the puck, but getting it back, gives it up to Mahoney. Mahoney's going to walk in, turns back and cycles, waits for her teammates, and that goes deep, turned around by Crompton. That third line for Australia struggling a little bit with the offense, but they're doing a very good job of holding possession against New Zealand in their shifts. That's passed forward by Arps. Arps getting it up to Godfrey, past Mahoney.
This Team Australia really keeping Team New Zealand inside of their own half. And the time just keeps ticking. 7.5 minutes left in this period now.
Julian with it. Gives it up, gets it back. Julian taking it into the zone and losing the puck, leaving it behind at the blue line. And that's passed forward by Blong up to Malari, but Malari double teamed and can't hold on to it. Australia with it. And a little bit of desperation probably coming up here. We're starting to get to that fun zone, aren't we, guys?
Yeah,
I
the team's got to
say
take a chance.
Desperation with 7 minutes to go, but the pressure will be definitely mounting.
Yeah. Team Australia will definitely be wanting to withstand that and hold it, dictate pace of play, as the Kiwi team needs to push the envelope here to try and tie the game up.
I'm sure the coaches are talking, just stay calm and stick with the systems at the moment. Time for pushing hard.
Turned over by Nelson, passed in front, and shot. Stick lifted at the perfect time. Horner Pasco couldn't get anything off there, and Australia digging their way out of a very dangerous dispossession deep in their zone. The puck stays in for New Zealand. Lily's got it out at the point. She holds it back, throws it forward, bounces around, and held by Gregory to Lily. Lily sending it back to Gregory. Gregory at the half board looking for a pass. No, she shoots, and then that's blocked. Pullen never let it through, and that's going to go back out. Lily's got to reset. She's got the puck, sends it up to Gregory. Gregory trying to cycle it behind her. Killenik gets it, though, and then Nelson takes it right off her stick, pass forward, and it's Horner Pasco with a shot. And an easy save there by King as they're trying to get anything at the net. No shot's a bad shot at this point, and it stays in the zone. New Zealand doing a good job of holding on to it. Australia trying to break it out. That will go for, no, it won't go for icing because it will be Heel getting there in time ahead of the red line, and she's going to hold on to it, pass it forward to Murray. Murray passing it to Shields. To Mills. Mills gives it up.
No.
2-on-1. Jones can't do anything with it. Shot and a save. Harrison saving the game for New Zealand. Still 3-2, and the Australians have it. They stay in the zone there. It was close, but it stays in. And that's, I think, Killenik. No, it's Mahoney out that corner. Now that's going to break out of the zone. Australia is going to reset. Roberts with it. Lily Roberts looking for help. That stays in the zone, turned over. That is to Murray, but Murray's got nobody to give it up, and that's given back to Australia. Godfrey with it. Godfrey sends it low, goes for a change. Jones picks up the puck, and it'll be Malari getting there, but then that goes tipped. No icing here. Del Basso collects for Australia, and Roberts with it now, passes forward. Up to Julian. Julian holding it 1-on-5. Quick shot goes off the glass, gets a rebound. Now Harrison jumps on it to get a stop in play, but one player getting a stoppage over there, really holding on to the gameplay, guys.
Did you see that 2-on-1 there? It's just an amazing save by Grace Harrison. Having numbers of Team Australia, as there's a collision inside the middle of the neutral zone, and 1-on-none there, and just couldn't.
Julian to Del Basso, that shot goes just off. Harrison getting it looked like a blocker save maybe, or either way, it didn't get past her, and that's passed forward. And as it was Hansen not able to control it, Australia gets it again. Cochran getting there first, and now she has the puck as they roll out. Hassled a little bit with a bit more pressure. That stays in the zone, but the New Zealand side going for a change. And it's Killenick on that right side. She moves past Hollier, but Heel gets there and holds her up. Killenick sitting in that corner and holding on and waiting. She sends it behind, goes to Salmons, and that goes out to the point. And as Australia holds on and is patient with the puck, New Zealand staying tight and allowing a shot from the high slot. Gets knocked away off the glove, a good save, but the play continues and stays in the zone. Another long shot, that's kick save, goes out to the other side. Should be able to clear here. Judy Heel with it, and they go the length of the ice, and that will be icing on New Zealand. Arps there first.
Yeah, not allowing the team New Zealand to change either. There was been some tired legs. A lot of sustained pressure again by Team Australia, and this time just keeps ticking down. 3 minutes 11. Got to wonder if there will be a timeout called at some point by either team to get a bit of a rest, and also considering taking the goalie out of the net.
Championship minutes now, aren't they?
Julian winning another face-off for Australia. Goes back to Arps, sending it halfway up, and it goes to Roberts. They hold it there for a moment. Now it's coming out. It's Horner Pasco with it. Long pass to center ice. Heel holds up, sends it, gets that change you guys were talking about, and it'll be Shields on the forecheck. She's trying to take it away from two players and looking for a call for some sort of a holding the stick, but doesn't get it. And that goes through, and it will be icing.
Yeah, unfortunate misdirected pass here for Rebecca Lilly at the back. So that'll be an icing. New Zealand will have to go back into their own zone. But getting to that stage of the game again with New Zealand, if they can get possession down there and hold on to the puck, they might look to pull the goalie Grace Harrison for that extra attack.
They'll need to have possession and holding it well inside of the Team Australia zone before the goalie does get pulled. Otherwise, Team Australia will be wise to put pressure on the puck and send it down.
Mahoney winning another face-off for Australia, keeping it in the zone. That goes past Hansen, past Lilly, but Lily's got it now in the corner. She's going to go around the net here and look for an outlet. No, she leaves it behind. Good play there, as it'll be Hannah Cross looking up ice to try to get that puck forward. Hansen passes it forward to Malari. Malari loses the puck as she's triple teamed. She gets it back, though. Past it, and no real help on the other side, so that puck's going to come the length of the ice. That will be an icing call, as it is Heel there for the tag up.
2 minutes, 5 seconds, and we'll see what happens here. It's the Australians icing the puck, so they're starting to feel that pressure, like you said, about these championship minutes. With only 2 remaining, the face-off's going to go to the left side of the goaltender, Katia Blanc.
Just wondering if the coaches for New Zealand are thinking about a timeout.
Yeah.
Long to take this one. Long loses that face-off. That goes behind the net. Looks like Heel getting there first, but that's taken away from her. That's going to go out. Jones is going to have to collect that puck, and she's got a forechecker on her. Jones doing a good job of shielding that puck away from, I believe that was Davis Tope there with the fantastic forecheck. And Everybody looking up, seeing if they make the move. Horner-Pasco with it, takes it in the zone. Harrison still in net. Horner-Pasco walking through the slot. Horner-Pasco with a shot. Deflected, a goal! It's a goal! 3-3 the score! Just a bad bounce. King didn't see it. And as that gets deflected, sure enough, it trickles into the empty net side. And 3-3 the score. Pandemonium in Dunedin.
Do not go anywhere, Fana. Wow, we've got a tied hockey game, minute and a half left. This is gold medal stuff.
Well,
Let's have a look at it again.
Pasco works her way through into the middle here, and there's a big deflection as she takes the shot, and it just bounces. And Sarah, Sasha King, she didn't see it. She did not see it as it bounced to her right.
Wobbling puck, and it just manages to find, it's like a changeup in baseball.
Guys, it's a minute 30 left. Let me just jump in here. There are a lot of scenarios with an overtime game. We'll get to them if we get that far. But 90 seconds here in Australia, behind again. They really need some help here. They can only win tonight if they win in regulation. If this goes to overtime, there's all sorts of things here. Australia takes it forward into the corner. They pass in front, a bouncing puck. New Zealand tries to get it out, goes to the point, goes to the half boards. Australia holding on to it. Don't know who that is from here. Shot! And that does not get through. Venus holds it in on the blue line. A lot of pressure from Australia. And that's going to go to Hollier behind the net. Richmond with it now, leaves it behind for Hollier. And eyes up, Australia backing off. They pass forward to Nelson. Nelson comes in 1-on-4, goes off her stick. Australia resets. It'll be Aparicio coming up the right side. All defense here, and everybody looking for Aparicio. And a shot, there's a penalty coming up. DeBasso has it. There's a delayed call against New Zealand. Australia has it.
Attacker.
6 players out for Australia. That stays in the zone. They're pushing hard. No stoppage yet. Shot in. Doesn't hit Harrison. Goes to Arps in the corner. Arps looking for somebody. 6-on-5. We continue. Julian passes it to DeBasso. And that is a stop by Harrison, the biggest stop she's made in a long time.
17 seconds, and we have a penalty coming up. The delay in the penalty and the shot there gets through everything but Grace Harrison. Good positioning, holding on to it. But Team New Zealand getting a penalty here.
Yeah, Rachel Redmond will be sitting for 2 minutes after this one.
This will be a hook, guys.
Hook or a trip, but whatever it is, some kind of infraction.
Oh, that's tight, and the crowd are probably on the edge of their seats here in Dunedin.
They're going to go out 5-on-4. They're asking Shields to go back on the back in the bench.
They put Shields into the penalty box.
Somebody had to serve. It was on the ice. Lily's got it for a moment. She's going to clear the ice. It's going to go down on to King. No icing here. That's going to be a big time save. Well, they were on the power play anyway, so there would be no icing. So they took the shot. King's got it. Australia's going to run out of time here. And that is the horn. Guys, 3-3 overtime. We got to get the calculators out now. This is a big deal.
Let's do that. Let's do that after all this.
Yeah. Let's hold on. We'll get to the replays here. A minute 43 on there. We'll take a look at the goal again. We'll leave it to you guys.
Again, a great effort here. Just taking a shot. Nothing wrong with taking a shot when you got people in front, and it just manages to squeak its way through after a rolling puck. Hit a couple of bodies, hit something, a stick, maybe off a leg.
No shot's a bad shot at that time, is
100%. It ties the game and forcing this into extra time.
Now we'll take a look at the penalty here. And probably not a bad choice, to be fair. Yeah. That's that may have saved the game.
Yeah, maybe.
So New Zealand kept Australia out right towards the end there with the pressure going on the power play towards the end. They're still going to have pressure on them when it comes to this 3-on-3 overtime because they'll have 3 players to Australia's 4.
That's right. So just to set the scene here, and we'll talk about scenarios in just a minute, but it was a hooking call with 17 seconds to go in the third period. I've got Hayden, my cameraman, nodding at me, just making sure, because he is actually a rules expert and referee. So if I say anything wrong, Hayden, you raise your hand. So 143 will be a power play for Australia, barring any changes, which on a 3-on-3 power play means that they'll have 4 players on the ice. If that expires, a fourth player comes out just to explain what happens, and then they go back to 3-on-3 on the next break.
Stoppage, yeah.
Yeah. Now, that's all the overtime stuff. They play 5 minutes. There's a shootout after that. If we get to that, there's a lot. However, the most important factor at this moment is that they each get a point in the standings, and that will create a lot of different scenarios. Now, we may talk a little bit more about them, particularly after the game ends, because that'll probably mean a lot more. But I can tell you for a fact that Australia will not win first place tonight based on this outcome. That's just how it is. If they were to win, and there's still some things, and we won't get to that. But anyway, let's talk about the game.
Each team has earned a point, and
yes,
both of them are unbeaten at this stage. And because Australia has won all of their games in regulation, they're sitting on the maximum of 9.
Yep.
And Team New Zealand had the overtime win plus 2 wins, meaning 8 points. So then we would take it to 10 and 9 if this game has finished with 1-1 like as it is now.
Right, and one other point will get awarded.
The crowd is starting to get wound up here. The chant goes out for the Ice Ferns. The excitement has been here all night, but now it has reached a crescendo.
Yeah, let's get back at this. It's going to be Nelson and Julian at center ice, and they'll try this again. Somebody didn't like that face-off. I think it was because the clock actually hadn't expired yet. So they got a little excited. And we're all a little excited. Ice hockey is winning tonight here in New Zealand. Nelson and Julian at the dot. Here we go for overtime for all the marbles. Australia wins this one. It's Del Basso sitting back and looking for Rapchuk. Rapchuk comes in the zone. The triangle setup is there for New Zealand. Bodies up front. Del Basso leaves it off for Killenik. Shot, and that's knocked away by Harrison. They fight for it. Harrison out of position here. That puck stays behind the net. It just goes into the corner harmlessly. Harrison gets back up. Australia still has the puck off to Del Basso, over to Rapchuk. Rapchuk holds it on the right side, walking it in a little bit, then sending it back out high. Nobody going out. Shields waiting, and pass to Rapchuk, back to Del Basso. Shot, and that's not getting through. That puck bounces out. Rapchuk gives it back to Del Basso. Del Basso holds high. She's surveying, sends it left, and that's behind. It goes back through the crease, a couple of scrambles through it, and Harrison jumps on top of it as Killenik is right in front. Here comes the replay.
Yeah, a good chance on the backhand side. Chose to go back in front and got it through keeper, but with the ensuing scramble, just bodies just fell on top of it. There's no way that puck was coming out. Just right here, just players all over the place.
Yeah, Grace Harrison did well, actually elected to drop the stick and put the hand on top of the puck, but it was the blocker hand, and I think that's what's being readjusted at the moment. With that outstretched hand, something might have been dislodged, one of the straps or the Velcro, whatever it is, holding her equipment in place is now there. So 42 seconds left in this power play to Team Australia in overtime.
And that face-off won by Blong, knocked into the corner, but Australia controls. Rapchuk goes across the ice to Killenik. Killenik to Del Basso. Del Basso up high. Blong out high on that. Rapchuk passing across the ice to Killenik, to Del Basso up high. Back to Killenik. Killenik takes a shot. That doesn't get through.
Richmond with a good block.
Killenik to Del Basso up high. No pressure. Long shot. And Harrison with a stop in the save.
12 seconds left on the power play for Australia and New Zealand, doing a really good job here.
Yes, holding really, really well and putting pressure on that top person with the puck. Australia trying to free up that extra attacker to tee up a shot or get something in front, but with that shot, Grace Harrison can see it all the way.
Kelly Nelson with a big draw here against Salmon. She wins it for a moment, but Australia grabs the puck, and Davis Tope with it. Out high, pass to Venus. She can hold it in. The penalty's going to end in 3 seconds. Shot. That's knocked away by Harrison. Into the corner. It's even strength, 4-on-4 for the time. That's Horner Pasco back out on the ice. Goes out to Venus. Venus has it out at the right point. Passes it back. That goes over a stick. Shot. And it doesn't get through. No, it does get through. Harrison with the glove save. and a stop. We'll go back to 3-on-3 hockey.
Massive penalty kill from New Zealand again.
Yes, that's it. What a play and what a great sequence here as Harrison with another great stop when she's been tested the most with a glove save previous to that. And another one here as you see it again.
3 minutes
up big.
3 minutes of even strength hockey to go here in the overtime before we get to a shootout. That goes past Nelson. Australia still has it up high. Long shot. That's a shoulder save there by Harrison. Goes into the corner. Rapchuk stays with it. Tries to leave it behind for Kilinik. Back to Rapchuk on the left side. Looking for a pass that's turned over. New Zealand with their first possession of overtime. They're going to skate this forward. It's Nelson coming up the left side. Takes a shot. That bounces away. Kick save into the corner. Nelson still has it. Trying to pass it. It goes behind the net. And it'll be Rapchuk with it. Trying to get it out. Only goes as far as the halfway boards. And goes back to Rapchuk. Shields goes for a change. Richmond chops away at it. And it's a lot of puck play with the line change there for Australia, but they do manage to get 3 players out there fresh.
New Zealand got a change as well.
Yeah, and it'll be Davis Tope with it, passing it, shot, and Harrison getting the save on Venus. She looked behind her because she did not know, but Harrison makes the save, and a face-off coming in the Australia side.
Because there was one behind the Kiwi defenders there. As a bit of a 2-on-1 shaping up as the 3-on-3 got opened up, and Team Australia putting the shot on, but directly at Grace Harrison.
Blong wins that face-off. New Zealand have the puck. They hold on to it for just a moment. Pass forward, up to Heel. That goes a little long. Davis Tope with it now. Kind of stuck in the door. Davis Tope passing it forward, takes it away. Heel's got it, puts it in the zone. She falls over for a moment, and that's Jones pushing again and turned over to Venus. Venus with it. Heel goes off the ice. Salmons with it and passes it aside. That goes off a New Zealand player, Horner Pascoe. She's going to forecheck against Del Basso. Del Basso going to skate all the way back. They're very cautious with this one. And Del Basso sends it back to Kilinik as they have their snipers back on the ice. They get New Zealand to do a little bit of a forecheck, but Kilinik waits and is very cautious. 3-on-3 is all about possession, and Australia is possessing the puck for most of it. Kilinik up the half boards, leaves it back for Venus. Venus passes center ice.
Last minute opportunity for Nelson.
It's Nelson coming up the ice. She loses an edge. She's knocked over, and the puck goes back to Australia. A fortunate break for Australia.
Right out of play.
And that's
is
a delay of game penalty.
That's a penalty in overtime. 47 seconds left.
Yeah.
Unprecedented territory.
Yeah.
Kelly Nelson had to break away, and she just
Topek fell down and then gets run over. No call. And then as this sequence goes around the net, the defender elects to try and clear the puck, gets underneath it, all the way over the glass, straight over to this area here.
Great camera work there from Hayden Potter upstairs.
And that's going to result in a penalty in overtime and delay of game. So timeout has been called. All of us need a bit of a breather. Someone has just given that puck to a lucky fan. Man, oh man, making their night.
Wow. It's all happening here tonight. This game has had everything.
Yeah, that timeout is a very important one here, as New Zealand's going to have a chance to win this in overtime on the power play. They are probably going to be careful with this as well because they don't want to give an odd man rush. They will have 4 on the ice
against the 3
for the remainder of this. What do we have?
47 seconds. That's all that's remaining in this overtime. So New Zealand looking to avoid the shootout here on the advantage that they've got.
What a show here for the crowd tonight. The sold-out arena.
Wow, what
First
a game to
time I've ever seen it in Dunedin.
Nelson to take this face-off here against Crompton. This will be a big one. Australia wins it. They send it the length of the ice. And, of course, there's no icing. It's going to be an important skate back. And it is Davis Tope getting there first for Australia.
New Zealand need to win this puck back as quickly as they can.
And they do just that, 4-on-3, as they have about 26 seconds to do something with this puck. Long coming up the left side, leaves it for Horner Pascoe. Horner Pascoe passes to Jones. Jones keeps it up high. They wait. Jones with it. Jones holds, tries to break some ankles, shot, and that doesn't come through, but it comes out high, deflected, it goes up off the glass.
Got to shoot the puck. Got to shoot the puck.
Horner Pasco with it. They're
got to shoot it.
They're calling for the shot, and that's it. They could not get a lane open. They could not get it to the leading scorer, Blong, in a good spot, and that means we're going to a shootout.
Oh, well, I think New Zealand just passed up on a couple of opportunities to shoot more there in that final 10, 20 seconds.
Great block, though, by the number 24, Rapchuk, getting the stick in the lane, potentially making a game-saving stick check, not allowing that puck to get through to the net. And we are headed to a skills contest? Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, and
it's been that even.
Australia have been here before in the last 3 years previous to this tournament.
Yeah,
they've lost
I mentioned earlier in the broadcast.
2 games to shootouts, and now they're here again. The pressure's now on them because they had the lead 2-1.
3-1.
3-1.
They were up by 2.
The third period. And I wouldn't say they're blowing it. New Zealand's played exceptionally well. But, you know, the pressure on the individual players now to score and the goalie
is immense.
Huge.
And there is no groom. They have not re-groomed the center patch of the ice surface, so it will have a factor in this shootout as there is a lot of extra buildup of snow on the surface of the ice, therefore making it a little bit more difficult for players to maneuver and stick handle the puck. You may see a lot of shots here. We shall see what players elect to do or what their choice is on their most preferred move to try and score.
If you're familiar with North American hockey where an overtime gets 3 shooters, it's not like that. You get 5.
That's right. First 5 are named, but then after the first 5 go through, there's a bit of a rotation offered, I believe.
So
and it might go 1 for 1. Is that the case?
There you go. So
5 shooters cannot repeat shooters. Here it is here. After 5 shots, the order switches. Then golden goal. Anyone can shoot.
Yep.
Gotta love that.
You know, and the interesting part for me is that Sasha King has had, the person in the box cannot shoot. That's a good point.
Yep.
So thank you for that. Yep, we got that. And then the
but do they have to stay in the penalty box the whole time while the shootout's going on? That seems really cruel.
Pretty lonely there. There's it was delay of
feel
game,
real stink
so
if
it's
they
not
lose
like
it.
it's a
Oh,
terribly
my
hard
goodness.
penalty. It's just a mistake. But
Yep.
look, they're bringing the
they
ice
are bringing
screamer
out the
Yeah.
Zamboni, so they are
Yep.
going to do a little bit of a patch, potentially a few of them down the middle.
You want to see that. You want to see
Oh,
these
you gotta
players
make
with
it
a
nice
nice
and
fresh
smooth
eyes.
and
Yeah.
give them best opportunity to demonstrate the skill. I think
it's a scrape. So
just a scrape. There's no water being put down.
Yeah, you don't want to be putting water down. 'Cause
No, you'd be
you
10
don't
minutes.
want to. You don't want to see those pucks stopping on the dime, just like we've seen previously.
So the to be fair about this, Grace Harrison and Sasha King have both had excellent games. I think maybe a little bit better for Harrison. She's had to be because there's been
With
more
a
shots.
lot more tougher shots to face. Overall.
But overall, in a way,
extremely close.
This is kind of poetic justice for me because these goaltenders have been, they've been utterly important in this game and have come up big. And in a way, I kind of like the fact that it's going to come down to them again to decide this game because they've both given it their all, and they deserve to be the star of the show here.
Yeah, and what also is interesting as well that both teams are on their elected benches. There is no break to let them go off, regroup, come back. Like they are all waiting and anticipating for this resurfacing of the ice, as you say, or the Zamboni
scrape,
to go around. Oh, it's just been a scrape.
It's a
so
scrape.
They're gonna scrape
no
right
water
down the middle. No water put down. As the Zamboni driver is conferring with the referee.
Yeah, he gets his moment in the sun.
Yeah, and he's just doing that. They're not even taking the goals out.
So that's going to get all the way just to the top of the crease, not even closer. So if a shooter gets in that close,
I would feel you'd
that's gonna
probably
be
want to
effective?
do one
all the way
like
through.
3 scrapes, maybe like one straight up the middle, and then
And two
one
to the
either,
side,
and one
either
either
side.
side.
Yeah.
That seems to be the most logical.
Guys, while we've got a couple of minutes here, they are going to pick the goals. Okay, so
Yeah,
thank
okay.
you for
See,
that.
that makes more sense, doesn't it? Because you can't just leave a bunch of snow untouched right in the area where you're going to have
exactly.
probably the most amount of shots.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some scenarios here. And for anybody who's watching, listening, anywhere in the world.
Maybe we could get the standings up
Yeah,
here.
if we can, because it'll be the uncorrected standings, because we'll be able to say each one has
got
a
a point
point.
more.
So it'll be 10-9. So here are some fun scenarios we talked about earlier today. So if New Zealand does win this in overtime or in the shootout, they'll achieve 10 points. Australia will achieve 10 points. They're then
equal.
even.
Yeah.
The interesting part, first tiebreaker, is head-to-head.
Yeah.
So the two of them, if New Zealand were to pull this off tonight and get that win, they're still in control of their own destiny. However, they'll want 3 points. They'll need 3 points to guarantee first place if that happens. Otherwise, Australia can obviously jump them if that were the case. If Australia wins in overtime, then you're going to have 11-9. So in that case, Australia would simply need to get to overtime in their next game against Belgium
to win the gold
in order
medal.
to achieve first place. They would have to lose in regulation in order for us for no points, and then New Zealand would have to win in regulation to get all
to
three
win the regulation.
because they would
overtake them.
To overtake them.
Yeah, and New Zealand playing Turkey, who they lost to last year in 2024 for the first time ever. So there's history there for that game going for the Turkey team, who have been solid, although unable to get too many wins this tournament. But surprise win last year, they could do it again. So it's not.
They could play like a spoiler potentially.
Yes. Let me throw one other thing out there in case some of you have noticed, hey, did you do the math on this? With Ukraine winning today in regulation and they won handily, they jump up to 7 points. And you say, well, if they get to 10, 10, and 10, then what happens? But in that case, head-to-head takes precedent.
New Zealand would be one up.
Yeah, New Zealand and Australia have both beaten Ukraine earlier in the tournament.
So essentially, you're really looking at silver and gold medals.
It's decided now. The silver and gold medal are decided.
Yeah.
It's just not
who's
bronze. Who.
Yeah, and who's who.
So, well, this is
a lot riding on this shootout.
A lot is riding on this shootout. The games tomorrow will all play out based on how this turns out. This is not an insignificant shootout with the points shared. This is a big one.
You got to also think too, like this. I haven't put a stopwatch on how long this has been taking place.
A long time.
Let's just say at least 5-6 minutes. That's a fairly long time for the goaltender just to be standing around. They're not really actively moving or anything like that, and they have already played 65 minutes of hockey.
My legs are hurting up here already. I can't imagine what they're going through.
Yeah, it's cold in here. The old feet start to get a bit numb.
Yeah, and also let's just talk about for a moment the success of this tournament. While we have a minute, just speaking to people around Dunedin, I mean, you see everybody's excited about this, and this building is absolutely packed. They're definitely building the drama up for it. But again, I was saying earlier, ice hockey is the winner here for New Zealand. It is doing nothing but growing, and that is exactly what we want to see. Now, the men's tournament is coming up in a little over a week. Also right here, another fantastic one. Obviously, I don't want to take anything away from what's going on right now, but
I think we're going to have a coin toss over here for the
who shoots first.
So Stephanie Cochran and Anjali Malari. We can't see who won.
No,
my vision's not that good.
Yep, can't zoom in that much. But
I guess they'll just determine the order of.
Yeah, it'll be, and then whoever wins, if it's the same after 5 attempts, they flip the order. So if whoever's team A going first after 5, they'll be the second team. But it's a long ways from now.
Okay.
But it'll be New Zealand going first, putting the pressure on. And first up out of the gate, going up against Sasha King, is, of course, Katja Blanc.
Yeah.
There we go. We're going to, the referee checking with the goaltender. Are you ready?
Now or never, isn't it, really?
Yeah. You better be ready. Here we go. Katja Blanc.
Looks to go wide.
Blocked. Sasha King winning that battle, and
Katja Blanc just deciding to rip one from just between the dots and the goalie.
Yeah, and she's got a good shot from there, but they looked like a kind of a shoulder save, and it was an angle getting cut down. So for Australia, Lindsay Killenick taking on Grace Harrison in round 1. Grace is ready. And here we go. Killinick for Australia. Stopped. Harrison with the block. And we are even still. Here it comes again.
Electing to kind of go
Backwards.
right backwards.
That's good skating.
Yeah. He kind of ran out of real estate, so to speak, and made a few too many moves on that right-hand side and wasn't able to put it, I think, where she wanted to, potentially trying to go 5-hole.
Yeah, unfortunately, the replay we didn't get to see that.
And Kelly Nelson to take this one. Oh, good chance, but stopped by King.
Elected to go forehand backhand.
Yeah, she just went straight up the middle there. No deception from taking it out wide.
You'll have to check the post on that coming back because she really jammed into that.
Yeah,
but
it does look like it's just come off.
Christina Julian for Australia. Second shot, round 2. Julian scores. Beats
Right.
Harrison over the right shoulder.
Yeah, right over that blocker side.
Just quite a simple wrist shot. Nothing fancy about it. Came down the middle mostly and just ripped it.
Australia up 1-0. And it'll be Horner Pascoe with the third shot for New Zealand.
2 rounds in, Australia have just 1 goal. New Zealand 0.
Horner Pascoe. Hits the crossbar right in the corner and comes up short. That was the closest one so far. And Horner Pascoe just misses.
I mean, look at these hands from Horner Pascoe. She's got some really nice silky mitts. And she pretty much beat the goaltender there. She just got a little bit too much underneath that.
Trying to roof it and just not quite there. Del Basso to take it for Australia. Still a 1-0 lead. Second shot in round 3 coming up. Del Basso. Olivia Del Basso misses the target left of the pipe. And 1-0. It's just 1-0. There we go.
That's important that she missed that one
Just to go up by 2.
for New Zealand, because that would have really put pressure on the next 2 shooters here. Just shoots it to the left, wide of the post.
And Jolly Malari to take the shot for New Zealand, round 4. Here we go. Malari misses off to the right, couldn't get anything on it. And that didn't trouble King at all. King going for a bit of a victory lap there.
All right, Australia can win it here with the next shooter.
Yep, the win is on the puck here for, who did they call out? That is
Shoulder fake didn't
Salmon?
work from Malari.
No,
who is that?
Number
Still
15.
Can't get a number
The
here.
captain.
It is
Number
the captain.
16,
It
sorry,
is
no, number 16.
Crompton.
Crompton.
Sharnita Crompton for the win if she can get this one. And she can't. She misses it. Can't pull the trigger. And New Zealand must score here in order to continue the shootout. That pressure will be put on Judy Heel. Judy must score or it's over.
I can't imagine.
Really
I
can't
can't imagine
it's
this.
so difficult to watch. Man, come on. Can they do it?
It's got to get this to extend the shootout.
Round 5, Judy Heel. Oh, and she just gets saved. King does it. Australia with the win in overtime, 4-3, beating New Zealand by the narrowest of margins.
Yeah, New Zealand just couldn't get anything behind Sasha King in the shootout. She stood up strong and she kept him out, and that puts him in a really good position now to win this tournament tomorrow.
So this is the only goal scored in the shootout.
Christina Julian
getting it done.
She scored earlier in the game as well, and now she is the shootout winner for Australia.
Well, Australia takes this out in the narrowest of margins, and as they come together at center ice, it is the scenario we talked about. Australia simply needs to get to overtime tomorrow, even if they don't win, and will get first place. They're playing Belgium, and that is what is in front of them. New Zealand needs a lot of help and a full regulation win tomorrow to have a chance. They'll know before the game starts where they stand, as Australia will play first. And
they play the middle game tomorrow. Tomorrow at 4:30.
4:30 tomorrow. Remember, if you want to watch that, you can check it out on IIHF.tv or NZIcehockey.tv.
All right, guys, we'll leave it for you two to carry on here. I'm going to go talk to, well, we'll see who I find out. Who it is I'll be talking to in just a minute.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
We'll catch the players of the day to be named for New Zealand and Australia, followed up by the national anthem of Australia, the victors of tonight's game. Judith Hill, the player of the day for New Zealand, gets the award, and the New Zealand Olympic mascot, the Kiwi.
May seem, or hopefully obvious as to who the Team Australia MVP. Oh, they gave it to number 10.
Sarah Salmons.
I will take that back. I thought they might have given it to the OT, to the shootout winner. Nevertheless,
they both played their hearts out. Both teams
100%.
played their hearts out. And it's such a big crowd. They really put on a good show here. New Zealand, probably the underdogs coming into this game. They fought their hearts out. They came back from a 3-1 deficit, tied it up, and they had an opportunity right at the end. The national anthem of Australia, Advanced Australia Fair, rings out around the Dunedin Ice Stadium. The fans start to filter out. I don't think they'll be too disappointed with the showing from New Zealand. It was a great game.
an extreme effort, like all the way around. There was no quit from either side. I mean, separated by a body of water, but often very, very close to in lots of different sporting aspects.
Handshakes from both teams, congratulating each other. So as Matt was saying, it's Australia's now to lose this tournament. They've got the gold medal in one hand. They can win tomorrow against Belgium. They can grasp it with the second and finally get the gold medal that they've been so close to over so many years.
That is true, and they will be absolutely looking forward to seeing how tomorrow will play out as well. I mean, this by no means is over. They're just like a step closer to that gold medal. So quite fantastic game here. I really do hope that you have enjoyed watching this game as much as we have been able to bring it to you wherever you are in the world. We thank you for tuning in to this broadcast. We are not done yet, though. There is a lot to come to finalize this fantastic event that doesn't come around that often down to Aotearoa, and it's just been wonderful to see all the way through so far.
Yeah, it really has been a wonderful tournament. All the teams have played their hearts out. This is the penultimate day. We've got one more tomorrow. We've got New Zealand versus Turkey, that's the final game tomorrow. We've got Australia versus Belgium, that's the middle game at 4:30. And then at 1 o'clock, we've got Hong Kong, China versus the Ukraine. So there's still 3 games to go, and they're all, a couple of them are really important. The second game's super important for Australia, and then depending on that result, New Zealand could be playing for a gold medal, but still a lot of hockey to happen.
That is true. So both teams are finishing their handshakes and lining up together, saluting all of the crowd, which is wonderful to see. It's great camaraderie, sportspersonship, and respect between the nations.
Yeah, I talked about it. I mentioned that the big rivalry between our two nations is palpable whenever they meet on any sports field. But there's always a sense of camaraderie between the players, because really are two nations, brothers, sisters in arms, through a lot.
Who love sport, and not just sport too. Like we are in the Easter time period, and right now we're approaching Anzac, which is very special to both Australia and New Zealand, and their respective Army Corps and their different servicemen and women. So a lot that brings both of the nations together.
Yeah. So we hopefully we'll be able to cut to an interview. We'll find out about that as the players exit the ice. They're not leaving too quickly. They're chatting away on the ice.
Might just hit you with some random side facts while we are waiting for that. Let's see here. One of the members of the Team Australia, Kate Tihima, she's played hockey in 21 different countries and is also half Māori. Her iwi is Ngāti Kahunununu. So that's fantastic and wonderful for one of the Team Australian representatives.
Yeah, and a dual international player as well. Ashley Aparicio, also an inline team Australian member. So, skills across the board. I think we're ready to go to an interview, Ian. So
that's the one.
Let's throw it over to Matt Chavez. We're not sure who he's got down there. Looks like it might be
Captain
Jamie Jones. Here we go.
All right. With Captain Jamie Jones, that has to be a heartbreaker. But let's go back to the third period and let's talk about how you guys squared this one up. How was that offensive pressure, or was it just constant pushing on your part to get that done?
Yeah, that was just constant pushing by us, I think. Australia brings out the best in us, and I think we bring out the best in them. So just to keep the girls' momentum going and keep fighting through that third period, that's how we kind of brought it to the end here.
Fantastic. And it was a tough match. You guys fought back. Tell us about the shootout in general. What were the highs and the lows on the bench?
Yeah, that's like, at that point, you've done everything you can in the game, and that's a super gutting way to go out, but sometimes it just happens. There's always got to be a winner and a loser, and yeah, it's a gutting way, but they're a good team.
Yeah, and you split the points, so you're still not officially out of the tournament. We'll need some help. But just as a last way of kind of looking at this, any thoughts about, like, just in general about the game that just really stick out in your mind?
Yeah, so we can still win, I think. It's just not in our hands anymore. So we just hope for the best, and we do our best tomorrow in the game against Turkey, and yeah, keep it up.
All right, keep your head high. Well done. Jamie Jones, the captain of New Zealand. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Matt, for that.
Yeah, what else can you say? It was right down to the end, and they literally gave everything they had. And it's not finished by any means, as Jamie Jones, captain, has said. They do have to kind of wait to see what the results are of the other games. But that's what makes this so exciting.
All right, we're going to go to another interview. The captain of Australia, Stephanie Cochrane, with Matt Chavez.
We're here with Stephanie Cochrane, the captain of the winning Australian side. Stephanie, that was a roller coaster. Take us through, you guys jumped all over in the second period and got the lead. How did that feel?
I think our emotions got really high and got the better of us for a little bit, and we had to kind of rein it in before we came back, settled back, and put some pressure on in the end of the second.
And that's exactly what happened. You put the pressure on, you got 2 goals ahead, but then it slipped away a little bit in the third. Did it feel like deja vu again, or was it more of we just need to control ourselves? What was it feel?
I think for us it was We just like to put the pressure on a little bit. We like to, keep us on our toes, make sure nothing comes too easy. We want to know, don't ever want to know what's happening. There's a lot of fans here who want to make sure it was a good game for them too, but it was a little bit too close for comfort. I'd have liked to have separated it a little bit earlier.
That almost went to script. You're exactly right. But take us through the shootout. Now you guys finally scored one, and you had to sit it through 3 more shots before you knew. How did that feel on the bench? Was it pins and needles, or was it we got this?
Well, probably a little bit of both. We knew Sasha had it in net. I think I scrunched up a few people's jerseys while I was praying on the bench and hoping for the best. But no, we knew Sasha is strong in net and don't have a doubt for her. But shootouts, you never know. It's a little bit stressful. So I think I closed my eyes for half of it.
And you'll have a quick one with Belgium just tomorrow to handle it. I think all you need to do is get to overtime, and that's looking pretty good. But don't count your chickens yet. You just are one hand on the cup, but you got to handle business tomorrow, right?
No, we're going to rest tonight, come back strong tomorrow, and play Aussie hockey.
There it is. Stephanie Cochran. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, a very happy Stephanie Cochran there, Ian.
Yeah, well, as you would, you're victorious in a shootout, and you're pretty much got one hand on that gold medal, and credit to them. It's one of the ways that we have in IIHF hockey that settles contests. I must admit I'm not a huge fan of that. I much rather see things done in overtime, but that's a personal opinion, not those of IIHF. It's just it's been a privilege to be able to watch and get to that point and see how close these nations are, not separated by an awful lot. And if they do move up, then fantastic. But we will wait and see how things go tomorrow.
Yeah, Australia take the win out here tonight against New Zealand. Big disappointment for the home fans, but they got a chance to get a medal still. They got a big game tomorrow night against Turkey, eh? So we're going to leave it at that for tonight. We'll see you all again tomorrow for the final day of competition.
Ka kite.